doesn't respect you.
Live from the Busch Light Studios.
Don't ask me if I'm all right. Joaquin said dominate, and we not doing it.
We're going to go get one and celebrate on somebody else's field.
Matt Jones may take it to the house and the dunk.
Phil said you had very motivational words at halftime.
It's halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones. Produced by Matt Travis.
Hold the rope! Hold the rope! Hold the rope! I'm putting my heart, dog. Let's go, man.
Probably as frustrated as I've been the first half.
Do we believe?
Second half, very happy.
Is vintage Matt Jones.
Hold the rope! Hold the rope! Hold the rope! On three! 1, 2, 3! Turn that damn fuse off!
Now, here's Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
Well, I'm holding out. I am holding out. Brought it up yesterday because it's so darn cold. I don't know how anybody can't feel it, but I am holding out. I guess I'm waiting another day before I finally turn the heat on. But, yeah, I can feel it in the fingertips all the way down to my wrists. Any part of me that's covered up, I'm all right. But the fingers, the nose, and until I put the headset on, the ears were getting pretty cold as we are we woke up in the 30s today, and we're going to wake up in the 20s tomorrow. So we're going to keep you as warm as we possibly can on halftime for the next 3 hours. So cozy up to the fire or the hot stove or whatever it is, and get your ears as close to the radio as possible. Maybe not too close because we don't want it to be that hot with an electrical shock. Great to be with you today. It is a beautiful day, if not very frigid, on halftime. Phil Elson, Matt Jones, Matt Travis. Did you guys turn the heat on last night, or were you as stubborn as me and just kind of cozied up under the covers and then 2 more covers? Had the cat get under the covers too, and that was the only way I could stay warm. But I'm not turning the heat on. I guess I'm just trying to save $5 or $10 or whatever it is until tomorrow. But I'll bet you tonight that'll go on, because once we get to freezing temperatures, I guess I'll spend the $15 or whatever it is.
I'm not doing it yet, and actually last night I even opened the patio door and let some of that nice cool air in, so I enjoyed it. But I also live up in an upstairs apartment, so it gets a little warmer than normal. But when I see that it's going to be in the 80s again by this weekend, I just can't do it.
That's the question. Will you turn it on, then turn it back off? And then once it's on, does it stay on?
That's the way I am.
Yeah.
It's like it's still, to me, it's like it's still going to be AC weather still coming up, so I'm not doing it yet.
And then if you got a fireplace, maybe you just go to the fireplace and take you a couple weeks off.
I have one of those electric heater that looks like a fireplace, that I could get by with that.
Throw that on for the first.
Now, Phil, would that count if I do turn that on tonight? Does that count as quote?
That's
turning
some
on
sort
the
of artificial heat.
So
Yeah, that is
Okay.
turning some kind of heat source on. That's right. And I don't
Fair
mean
enough.
like, please don't turn the oven on and just keep it open.
Oh, my mom used to do that.
It's not going that direction. I would appreciate that because I'd like you to show up tomorrow to produce the show again. I mean, I've got a couple of options, and I'm thinking it's too cold to take take this outdoor fire pit that was left for me at this house that I'm renting by the previous owner. Left a perfectly good fire pit there for me to enjoy, and a lot of wood. Too cold to do it outside, and I guess I'm too lazy to start a fire on the inside too. Yeah, but we had a nice. It was nice and frigid for baseball last night at my son's Little League game, and I got to tell you, like, that was about as entertaining as the Monday Night Football game. You've been listening because he's been playing fall ball for the last. It's been like 6 or 7 weeks, and it is. It's just frustrating to watch. I guess the over/under on the number of walks and wild pitches was like 70. They went over that last night, and the Nationals took a 13-3 loss. But I think that was more entertaining than watching a series of punts and bad offense on another. I mean, what is the Broncos? First of all, the Broncos got a team that can play some defense, but I doubt when they traded for Russell Wilson, they thought that they would have trouble even scratching out as many as 20 points in a game. I mean, this is a guy who, you look at his first 11, 12 years in the NFL, and man, I mean, he's got
he's a Hall of Famer, right?
He's a potential Hall of Famer.
Those numbers are. Phil, I don't know. They what was it? Pete Carroll and that meme. They said he sold a lemon, like a used car dealer that they had that he got over. I don't know what happened to Russell Wilson and who's the OC there at Denver.
Oh, I don't know. I mean, they got Nathaniel Hackett's the new coach who took over there, and I mean, I know Wilson's been beaten up because he was dealing with a sore shoulder from the Thursday night game. Had like 11 days to rest, and then I guess he suffered a hamstring injury in the second half. And I barely was able to throw for more than, I think it was 20 yards in the second half. But, I mean, he had a couple of opportunities to lead a drive for the end of the game to win and, just couldn't put it together. The guy that you really – I mean, how about this Chargers kicker, Dustin Hopkins, who strained a hamstring muscle during the game and continued to kick. Like, I watched his last couple of kicks, and, I mean, every time he kicks the ball – he is going down to in pain. He is falling on the ground in pain. So he wins the game with a field goal at the end. Not a chip shot or anything, but certainly not, an incredibly long one. And immediately went down to the ground, and his teammates had to help him up to start the celebration. I'm not sure he was able to jump around or anything. I mean, Matt, you know what it's like to deal with a strained hamstring. You imagine kicking. I mean, it was the other leg. I don't think it was his kicking leg. It was his left leg. But still, I mean, it's pretty impressive to be able to boot field goals where you're basically on one leg.
It's so impressive because that's what you can't do is push off. You can't do any type of an aggressive move when you have a pulled hamstring or strained hamstring. And so to do that on your plant leg like that, man, it's got to be he's got to be in some pain. And who said kickers aren't football players?
I know some of them definitely that was on a station that you used to work on that basically never even mention a kicker.
It's like goalies aren't soccer players, Yeah.
Exactly. I mean, how can you actually look at it that way? Because they only remember the things that you miss, right?
That's it.
Shots on goal,
I expect to catch it. Yeah, exactly. I expect to make this field goal. It's hard on them.
Well, Denver scored fewer than 20 points in 5 of 6 games. They've also allowed 20 points. Fewer than 20 points in 5 of 6 games. So, I mean, these are not the most entertaining games to watch. It's like you would imagine that's like 3 yards in a cloud of dust, but that's not necessarily the style that they play either. Look at Denver; they have lost by point spread of 1, 9, 3, and 3, and they've won their 2 games by 7 and by 1. So usually, one of the things that Wilson was so good at was that when he was quarterback in the Seahawks, so much more often than not, they won those close games because he would lead a drive at the end that would end up in the end zone or the game-winning field goal, and it's just not working out. And he's had chances. He's had a lot of chances. And I don't think he forgot how to play quarterback in like a year. He's got to be heard.
Yeah, something has to be up there, but that was kind of his MO on those Seattle teams was that they had good defense, they'd run the ball, they'd just stay in the game, and then they'd get towards the end, and he'd lead them back, and that was just kind of his thing. So I don't think he's forgot how to play quarterback. I still think he is I don't know what the new rules are for Hall of Fame candidates with the game, the way it's changing, but he's up there. He's definitely got a shot at being a Hall of Famer. I don't know necessarily if you win a Super Bowl nowadays, are you a Hall of Famer?
Usually, I guess they kind of reserve.
Because if you won 2 of them, if you win 2, you're in. Yeah.
It's like a foregone conclusion. Eli Manning is a Hall of Famer,
100%
because of the 2 Super Bowls.
Yes, sir.
And I guess is it the most wins in New York Giants history? I think he does.
Man, those teams he beat, though, that undefeated team that had Randy Moss, probably the best team to never win a champ. I mean, golly, that team that year, that was video game numbers. And
Wilson probably should have 2
just run the ball, right? Like, what are we doing here?
That's exactly right.
Man,
it's an interesting idea. Like, what if, and I guess, is it still 5 years after your career ends that you're eligible for the Hall of Fame?
Yes. Yeah.
I mean, so if Eli Manning is in because of the 2 Super Bowls, and honestly, that's why he's in. It's because of the 2 Super Bowl championships. I don't think that there's a quarterback.
Does Phillip Rivers get in? Same draft, put up the same numbers. Some people might actually like Phillip Rivers over Eli Manning's career, like as a talent. That'd be. Yeah,
but never made it to the Super Bowl, not even once.
Man, those Patriot teams, you had LaDainian Tomlinson, and those Patriot teams would come in there. They'd get home field, and they'd come. Oh, those were some big games back then. Yeah, they had some. Man, that's LaDainian Tomlinson, there you go. That's a Hall of Famer right there.
Well, it was tough to be a quarterback in the AFC during those years when Brady was quarterback in the Patriots, and they're there almost
Brady and
every
Manning
single season. But like, imagine once Wilson's career is over and it's 5 years later, and he still just wins the one Super Bowl. I mean, there isn't anything right now that looks like Denver's going to be winning a Super Bowl anytime soon. And the debate comes down to how many Super Bowls did he win? It's like, you're going to blame him for the decision to throw the football, and of course the interception goes on his record. But man, that would be a tough way for, I think, to decide not to vote for somebody in a moment like that. But I mean, he definitely has had his 12-year career. He's looked like a Hall of Famer almost every season. And more than half a dozen Pro Bowls, a couple of
good dude
All-Pro
too,
teams.
all around good dude. I think he'll probably get in, and maybe not just first ballot. Everybody doesn't have to be a first ballot guy. Maybe he does, but I think I'd say he's a Hall of Famer.
Right now, he doesn't look like a Hall of Famer. He looks like
I don't know what he's doing right now.
Well, he looks like a quarterback who's hurt and is on a team that just isn't quite sure what it is that they're doing right now. And I mean, that was a team that was sort of a sexy choice for being an AFC champion and certainly competing for AFC West supremacy, but it doesn't look like it right now. And the odd thing so much, I mean, look at the New York teams in the NFL. The Giants, the Jets, for crying out loud. I was ready to make fun of Robert Saleh a few weeks ago when he said he was taking names for all the people that were talking smack on the Jets once they started winning. I'm like, yeah, when is that ever going to happen? And now they were winning games. Talk about a great draft. I mean, they get Breece Hall, Ahmad Gardner in the same draft, and both of them are just looking incredibly good right now. So, I mean, the New York teams, it's pretty rare that they're both good in the same season, but there you have it, and they really are right now, and it makes the NFL, kind of interesting, maybe more so than usual for people that well, I'm just going to say that because I don't know many people around here that are New York sports fans, but there are some Jets fans. I don't know any Giants fans around here because you're all Cowboys fans for the most part.
Cowboys, Chiefs, Rams, it seems like for the most part. And then that I was kind of excited to see the other New York team, the Yankees and the Indians, play. Do you still stick with your same pitchers tonight?
No, the Yankees are changing. They're going to Nestor Cortes on 3 days rest, which I think is an interesting choice. Yeah, you had to wait around forever last night for that game to finally be postponed. I guess the commissioner's office or the people that make these decisions for the playoffs thought that there was a window, but they waited. I mean, first pitch was supposed to be at 6 o'clock, and the postponement didn't come down until after 8 o'clock Central Time. Meanwhile, all the folks at Yankee Stadium on the giant video board were watching an NHL game, and then they were watching the NFL game, NBA preseason and stuff like that. So just kind of sitting around watching TV, waiting to be told to go home and then come back tomorrow less than 24 hours later.
Who do you think this helps? We talked yesterday a little bit about the division winners that had the extra day of rest. It didn't really help them, but both teams get a day of rest. Who do you think needed it more, the Indians or the Yankees?
No, the Yankees needed it.
Yeah, they needed
more.
it.
Yeah, their bullpen's been fairly beleaguered. I really like the Cleveland bullpen. I think Cleveland with a lead in the 6th inning, and former Razorback Trevor Stephan could come up pretty big in this one later today. Cleveland has the lead in the 6th inning. I'd say it should be done. There are a couple of guys in that Yankee lineup that can frighten you no matter who's on the mound. But yeah, and I got some thoughts on Terry Francona. I'm rooting for Cleveland, not just because of the anti-Yankee thing, which I think a lot of people connect with, but Francona is just a guy that's really easy to root for. So I'm going in that direction, and I'd like to see another team. I don't think the Cleveland Guardians won 90 games this year. It'd be really interesting because the NLCS starts tonight. Neither the Phillies nor the Padres won 90 games. And it's got to be rare. And, of course, it would only be during the era of a bunch of teams making the postseason where two teams that not even just not division winners but didn't even win 90 games are playing for the league championship. And I mean, it was pretty rare for a team to win sub 90 games and win a division back when winning the division was the only way to make it to the postseason. So this is a rare situation, which should be a good series too, that starts later tonight. And so it's kind of a light sports day, but you do get 2 postseason baseball games, and we're one day before the start of the NBA regular season. So it is upon us. And here's what we got on halftime today. We've got, of course, Matt Jones in studio for the entire show, Matt Travis as well. We don't have any guests except for Clay Henry, who's kind of, he's the co-host anyway when he comes on Tuesdays and Thursdays. So you can get on with us anytime you want, 877-377-6963 on halftime. So stay with us, lots to get to, including Arkansas men's basketball picked 10th in the preseason AP poll. We'll get to that after this quick break.
You're listening to Toyota Tuesday. Stop by your local Toyota dealer. Toyota, let's go places.
Touchdown, Arkansas! We fought back. We took a punch, and we answered back.
He's going to go! Johnson's at midfield, and there he goes! 98 yards. Keep, I saw it, but I'm not sure I believe it.
Listen to every Razorback football game this season right here on ESPN 95.3 and hitthatline.com.
Nobody has a better selection of 2022 and 23 Fords than Harry Robinson's Salisol Ford. More than 36 new Fords have arrived or are on the way. Ford F-150s, Expeditions, Escapes, Broncos, and Bronco Sports are all at Harry Robinson. And you will never pay more than MSRP. That's Harry Robinson's promise to you. The biggest and best selection of new Ford vehicles are at Harry Robinson's Salisol Ford. 1 mile south of exit 308 off of I-40 in Salisol and online at harryrobinson.com.
Gray Brothers Equipment understands the importance of your hay crop, and they're ready to help with quality Kubota products like Kubota rotary disc mowers, Kubota brand wheel hay rakes, and BV round balers attached to Kubota's M-Series cab tractor. Together, Kubota and Gray Brothers will make your hay days fun again. That's Gray Brothers Equipment in Fort Smith and Poto, where if you pick orange, you'll never get a lemon.
This is Northside head football coach, Coach Felix Curry. I call 782-8940. That's 782-8940.
This is Northside head basketball coach, Eric Burnett. I call 782-8940. That's 782-8940.
Football and fall, what a great time of the year. It's also a great time to take advantage of York Factory rebates on high-efficiency HVAC products. Give us a call at 782-8940.
That's 782-8940.
This is Abby with Davis Floor Covering. Get your home or office looking its best for this football season with new flooring from Davis Floor Covering. Whether it's new carpet, hardwood flooring, ceramic, porcelain tile, or luxury vinyl planks, Davis Floor Covering can help you with all your flooring needs with brands such as Bow Floors and flooring supplies from Maupe. And let's get started on beautifying your office or home. We even do countertops. Be sure to check us out on Facebook. Davis Floor Covering with 3 locations to serve you: Fort Smith, Springdale, and Tahlequah. Call 452-4808.
Finding that missing shin guard, remembering whether it's a home or away game, getting the right kid to the right playing field on the right day. Why are simple things sometimes so complicated? Thankfully, with auto owners, insurance doesn't have to be one of them. We work with independent agents who keep insurance simple so you can worry about more important things, like not being that fan.
Oh, come on, ref!
That's simple human sense.
Visit the Charles Osborne Agency in Greenwood or call them at 996-2129.
If you are looking for a tractor to fit your farm or property, from landscapers to ranchers, take a look at the all-new Bad Boy tractors, built tough to be a workhorse in the field. Bad Boy has a history of combining power, performance, and quality, and you will find that in every tractor they sell. See your local Bad Boy tractor dealer in Western Arkansas, Alma Tractor and Equipment in Alma, or visit almatractor.com.
Get by your locally owned TGI Fridays in Fort Smith and make it a double combo with the Jamie Foxx Fox on the Rocks box with Friday's big ribs and wings served with seasoned fries and one of our 2 new awesome sauces. The new Fox on the Rocks barbecue sauce made with BSB brown sugar bourbon flavored whiskey and whiskey glaze blaze. And now Fridays has $2 beer all day every day. So stop by your locally owned TGI Fridays at I-540 and Rogers in Fort Smith.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Hey, Surrey!
Every time I look into your loving eyes, I see love that money just can't buy.
You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson. Want to jump in the conversation? Call or text into Halftime at 877-377-6963. Now, here's Phil Elson.
In my opinion, I have no idea how it'll play out, but I've never had a team. You know, every team kind of takes on its own identity with its personnel, and based on, again, a limited amount of time, what I can say is we're really, really good at blocking shots from the perimeter. AB does a great job of it. Brazil's going to block perimeter jump shots regardless of what he plays. Council is really, really good. Ricky is at blocking perimeter jump shots. So again, it's kind of wacky how, you know, last year we lead the nation in taking charges because we had a player in Jalen Williams that loved to take charges and had perfected the craft of doing that. And this year we do have some guys like AB that are really, really incredibly gifted at blocking shots from the perimeter.
That's Eric Musselman after the red-white game. He was asked about Anthony Black's defense. He blocked 3 shots. Those were 3 of 9 shots that were blocked in the red-white game. Now, I don't know how many of those blocked shots came from the perimeter or the three-point line, but the Hogs did not shoot very well from long range in the red-white game. And I think this is going to be a theme of the basketball season because it's from what Muss says, and when you look at the roster, this is a team that will defend the 3 very well, and maybe defend the 3 a bit differently than Muss's first team, which also was really good defending the 3. These guys are long, and I don't think in the first year under Eric Musselman there were a ton of block shots around the perimeter. They just defended it really well. It sounds like you got a team that's just going to be stuffing three-pointers back into an opponent's face quite often. I mean, look at Black is a guard, 6'7". Ricky Council Jr. or Ricky Council the 4th. I got to remember that's junior times 2.
Yeah, stud.
6'6" and can leap out of the gym, so you know he can also stuff a three-pointer. Trayvon Brazil, he's somebody that will play out of the perimeter every once in a while at 6'10". Nick Smith is tall for a guard. That doesn't even bring up, you know, the Mitchell twins or Jordan Walsh or Jalen Graham, guys who have that kind of size. So they're going to defend the 3 really well. And I don't know if they're going to shoot the 3 well, but they're going to defend it, Matt. And I think that's probably going to be a calling card of this year's Arkansas men's basketball team.
Yeah, it was. I guess it was a month ago or so when I got to watch him play or watch him practice. And Musselman, I'm telling you, you're gonna play defense if you're gonna play for Coach Muss. I mean, that's just what's gonna happen. They have so much talent. I mean, they were getting it and man, just getting up and down the court. And school hadn't even started yet. It looked like a professional practice. I mean, when you're talking about getting recruited and wanting to go play and you want to go to the next level, that would be Coach Musselman would be one of the short list of coaches that you want to go play for and get your game. I mean, every year he puts somebody into the NBA. And he's a former NBA coach. He coached that Jason Richardson team, Baron Davis team, Steven Jackson. That team, Golden State Warriors teams that was a good team.
He's coached at every level of the sport of basketball, save for high school, I guess. But I mean, every level of the pro game, and just about every level of the Division I college game too. And you think about one of the other hallmarks of every good team under Musselman here, which every team has been good since he's been here. They are really good at turning defensive stops, steals, turnovers, specifically into fast break points. That's one thing this team is going to do incredibly well too. Just think about what you can get off of a deflected shot around the three-point line or just a flat block. If it's blocked in the right spot to the right teammate, that right there keys an odd man run. I mean, this is the way they're going to, when you defend the 3 as well as I think this team will, you can turn that into really fast points. And they're built to play on the fly, I think.
And Jordan Walsh was another young guy you said that's coming in. He's an athlete. He's a guy that can defend the 4 and can run. The guards are very athletic, And it's funny, he says, I don't know how good we'll shoot the three, but they're going to defend it. And it's the truth, because they're going to be one of the most athletic teams that we've seen in a while. Some of those kind of like old Nolan Richardson teams that could get out, defend, and get real fast on you. You think of the Cincinnati Bearcat, Bob Huggins teams, when you had a Kenyon Martin and those teams, that they'd just out-physical you, outwork you, and fast break you to death. And those are kind of those are fun teams to watch, especially when they're rolling.
I think this is going to be a really fun team to watch, and I think you're going to be frustrated probably with the three-point shooting offensively from this team. But what they'll do is they'll take a moment where the opponent thinks that they're about to hit a three, swat that thing away, and turn it into a two on the other side. So I think it's going to be incredibly fun to watch, and that's something to focus on. Which we got a couple of callers on hold.
We'll have to go. We'll have to go to a game, then go up there and watch it. Yeah, that'd be fun.
Well, they're playing Monday against Division II Rogers State in the two exhibitions. Then there's the game at Texas where they're opening up the new movie
figure one out
center.
soon. Yeah, that'd be fun.
It's going to be sold out. So the only way to get in is with the media passes that we'll have. So, although I don't know, Matt, you can probably just walk into Bud Walton Arena anyway. I have a feeling you can. I can't. I've got a pass, so maybe I can.
You're with me. We'll be all right. Yeah, we'll be all right.
That's right. Let's see, 877-377-6963 for calls and texts on halftime. And Hognoxious is up first. Hognoxious, I apologize. I have not been at the last two Arkansas baseball scrimmages, either the last three, really, the two against the Rangers developmental team and yesterday in the first of the fall series. I don't know if you were there or not, but I apologize that I was not there, because if the two of us were there, I would have seeked you out.
That's all right. I was there for the first one against the Rangers developmental team. Planning to go this afternoon with my extra coat, but that'll be it for me. I am really excited to have Matt Jones on the broadcast and hear him every day. I think this is going to be a lot of fun, and I echo the sentiments of many people who said have enjoyed watching you over the years. Really excited about the prospects of the basketball team. When we've been really good, the strength has been defense, and these guys are way capable of being really strong defensively. They're just going to be entertaining. But what I called about today is I want to take you back, Phil, to about a year and a half ago when I was having a discussion with you about Kevin Copps and how odd it was that when he would come into the game, the offense would start hitting the ball.
You're right.
And
it was like a goose for the hitters.
There was no denying it was true. It just, I didn't understand why it occurred. But that's what's happening. That's what happened with KJ. We play all sides of the ball play better when he's out there. And
what do you think it is about that? I mean, why, with Kevin Copps, Dave Van Horn would say basically the hitters know that the other team's not going to score anymore. So that would give them a boost. What do you think it is about KJ? Matt, what do you think it is about a quarterback
I think
that would boost a defense?
The confidence that he gives his teammates and his leadership and it's his ability that the players are drawn to him. It's innate almost. You can't.
He is the unquestioned leader of the ball team. And people said, why did we come out so flat against Mississippi State? Well, it was because they didn't have their leader.
Hey,
and they knew they were going to have to face the game without their leader.
Well, I mean, you still got to be able to go play. But I get your point. It does give them a little bit, but whoever the quarterback is, we got to get a game plan and we got to get and go. Some guy goes down, somebody else has to step up. But yes, he is the guy that everybody looks to make plays. That's 100% correct.
Yeah. Well, I'll see if I can put on another pair of socks and let you get to the next caller. Thanks, guys.
Bring a space heater outside into the hog pen, Hognoxious. Maybe that'll work out for you. By the way, Matt, Hognoxious is our one caller who's got split personalities because sometimes he calls as Bobby from Cave Springs, and then other times he calls as Hognoxious.
Nice.
And usually the hint of what he wants to talk about If he calls us obnoxious, it's baseball. That's what he started with. But we did baseball, basketball, football all there at once, man. That was a lot going on.
I like it.
You know, there's also, you know, maybe this happens more often in the NFL. But, I mean, look at some of the what some of these teams are doing with their second-string quarterback. Look at the Cowboys. I mean, they just lost with Cooper Rush, but they were undefeated with him before that. And Bailey Zapp with the New England Patriots. I mean, you know, he's outplayed Mac Jones, at least from what I saw from Jones for the first 2-3 weeks. And in college, you know, Arkansas couldn't get it done without KJ. Kentucky couldn't get it done without Levis. I mean, Alabama nearly didn't get it done without Bryce Young against Texas A&M, and maybe they shouldn't have. So I don't know. Do you put it on a, you know, do you put it on a difference in the two levels here?
Well, it's not sustainable is the thing when you're we had David Gerard went out for a year for a game when we were in Jacksonville. And we were going to play Tampa Bay, and so we had I want to say we had our third string. We had Quinn Gray. He was our third string guy at the start of the season. Great dude, great. I mean, good. He's an NFL quarterback, you know. And so, but he hasn't had a lot of game time, a lot of game experience. So we get out there, and our game plan is we're going to run the ball and play defense. And that's kind of what Dallas has been able to do with Cooper Rush. And so we were able to win that game. We made it ugly. We made the game ugly. It's first one to 24. Don't turn the ball over. Run the ball. Check to it when you get man coverage. Catch it. You know, we had a defense there, and I think that's what Dallas is able to do. With Arkansas, the difference is we don't have that. I mean, we're not a top 8 defense, you know, in the SEC. We're just not. You know, it's just how it goes. And so I think that's where you kind of the defense does play a little better. It's just kind of how your team is, how your mindset is, but it's definitely not sustainable when your starting quarterback goes out.
Arkansas would have needed, 33 to beat BYU? You think they get 33 without KJ? Didn't look like they were going to against Mississippi State, did it?
I mean, I did like what I started seeing out of Hornsby a little bit. He's throwing the ball good on the run, and he kind of – I think he's going to get better for sure. But, yeah, I agree with you.
All right, 877-377-6963 for calls and texts. We'll have more phone calls coming up after the break. Still have time to get over to Cheap Sleep Mattresses and Furniture because the October fall sale continues. And you got a little less than 2 weeks in the month of October. This is where you get 75% off mattresses and furniture, up to 75% off. Cheap Sleep has any size mattress right now at $199. Lane sofa and love seats are only $899. And there's a California King adjustable bed and mattress combo that's only $899. So you can, again, get up to 75% off name brand Queen and King mattresses, adjustable bed and mattresses, and that's during the October fall sale right now at Cheap Sleep Mattresses and Furniture at all their locations in Bentonville, Fort Smith, Springdale, and Conway. Shop local, shop Cheap Sleep, and you can find them on Facebook. Quick break, more on halftime after this.
You're listening to Toyota Tuesday. Stop by your local Toyota dealer. Toyota, let's go places.
WT Equipment is your home for New Holland ag and construction equipment, sales, parts, and service. For high horsepower row crop tractors and combines, utility tractors and hay equipment, compact track loaders, and mini excavators. WT Equipment has it all. Stop by one of their 8 locations to explore the value of New Holland tractors and see why New Holland hay equipment and twin rotor combines are second to none in harvesting ability. Need to upgrade your construction equipment fleet? Give WT Equipment a call. Come by a store or check out their website, WTEquip.com.
At Boost Mobile, we're giving you a free phone when you switch and all the power that comes with it. The power to access everything humanity has to offer. The power to connect with anyone in the world. The power to order tacos. Get a free Samsung Galaxy A32 5G when you switch to America's largest 5G network. Information, communication, tacos. Now that's power. More power to save. Boost Mobile. Free phone limited to new customers and one per line. Additional restrictions apply. See boostmobile.com for details.
Harry Robinson Buick GMC wants to buy your vehicle, and they'll pay top dollar today. Pre-owned car values are at an all-time high, and your car is worth more today than it ever will be again. If you are driving a 2013 model or newer with 120,000 miles or less, bring it to Harry Robinson Buick GMC, and they will pay you more for your trade. Even if you don't want to buy a new car, they will still buy yours. Harry Robinson Buick GMC, exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith.
Chuck Barrett here. I know a thing or two about making great calls in Arkansas. And when it comes to your home service needs, make the call to Paschal Air, Plumbing, and Electric. Paschal offers plumbing services from simple drain repairs to running all new lines. And right now, you can replace your water heater with a professionally installed system from Paschal. Take $150 off a new traditional water heater or $300 off a tankless system. Paschal Air, Plumbing, and Electric. Arkansas owned. Arkansas operated. GoPaschal.com.
Building a home can be stressful. This is true whether you're the homeowner or the contractor. Many times these issues result in a lawsuit. If you are a homeowner or a contractor and find yourself needing legal help, call the attorneys at Kevin Hickey Law Partners. With experience representing homeowners as well as non-payment or other issues that could arise during construction. Contact Brad Hull or Kevin Hickey at 479-434-2414 in the River Valley or 479-802-6560 in Northwest Arkansas. Or check them out at the web at artriallawyers.com.
Flu season will be here before you know it, and Law's Drug Store in Fort Smith has the regular and 65-plus senior flu shots ready now to care for you and your family. Law's Drug Store has COVID vaccinations and boosters available for ages 5 and up, as well as shingles, pneumonia, and whooping cough vaccines. Call 452-6116 and schedule your flu or vaccine shot appointment, or stop by Law's Drug Store, 6802 Rogers Avenue behind Outback Steakhouse. Law's Drug Store opens 6 days a week to safely care for you and your family.
What do you get when you pull into Tony's Tire Service? You get the best selection of tires for any car, truck, or commercial vehicle. Tony's Tire Service has Cooper tires and is ready to serve you to get you back on the road safely. They'll also get your vehicle fixed with brake replacements, plus an alignment with the best repair guy in the area. Tony's Tire Service has been serving the River Valley for over 34 years. Come let our guys replace your tires with Cooper tires and our service department to make sure the vehicle has the best brakes and alignments. Tony's Tire Service, 7200 South 28th Street in Fort Smith. Service you can depend on.
Nobody has a better selection of 2022 and 23 Fords than Harry Robinson's Salisaw Ford. More than 36 new Fords have arrived or are on the way. Ford F-150s, Expeditions, Escapes, Broncos, and Bronco Sports are all at Harry Robinson. And you will never pay more than MSRP. That's Harry Robinson's promise to you. The biggest and best selection of new Ford vehicles are at Harry Robinson's Salisaw Ford. 1 mile south of exit 308 off of I-40 in Salisaw and online at harryrobinson.com.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Hey, Surrey!
1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. All right. Got to know how to hold it. Like Bonnie Maroney. Mashed potato to the alligator. Put your hand on your hips there. Let your backbone slip. Do the 1, 2 say. Like my little Lucy.
Find halftime on 99.5 in Northwest Arkansas, 95.3 in Fort Smith and the River Valley, 96.3 in Hot Springs and Central Arkansas, 104.3 in Harrison and Mountain Home, and everywhere on hitthatline.com. Now back to the hosts. Here's Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
I got a couple of callers on hold here, and I mean, it's actually now it's beautiful. Now we're into the 50s. Now we're not, freezing our would be the phrase that my grandmother would have said.
Bannies.
You're not quite sure what tuchus is. That's Yiddish for backside. 877-377-6963. I know the Yiddish word for the front side, but I'm not going to get to that right now. We got Robert in Fort Smith here. Real quick, Robert. Oh, man, you got to be feeling it after that loss to the Padres. You doing okay?
Oh, no, I'm not. But do you think we took the Padres not serious? Because I do. Because Monday first game we win. Second one we lose, and I figured the guys were like, all right, they beat us. Then we just took them for granted, and we never did. We never did come back.
Hey, I don't know. I can't imagine that it's a matter of taking another team for granted in the postseason. It's just, it's like the nature of the sport. It's so cruel. It's so cruel. And I still have, I love the Major League postseason in October. It's so dramatic. It's so much fun to watch. But, I mean, the regular season, the importance of the regular season has been devalued so much. You got the bye. It's supposed to mean something, but apparently getting a bye didn't help at all for any of the teams.
No, and look at Atlanta. I mean, you were going for Atlanta at one, and now they're all mad at three of their players for an in-park home run, and it's just like, this is just, it's hard. So, yeah, I'm right there with the Atlanta fans. It's tough, but, hey, now I don't want the Padres to win, not because I don't like them, but now anybody but them and anybody but Houston. But have a good one, guys.
Phil, what with all these rules changes in baseball, I just haven't kept up with it as much. But are you in favor with? It seems like they've changed a lot. I don't know what they've done to the game and if they've messed that up in any way. And I know the analytics have changed it too, but they have added extra playoffs teams. They've added a wild card. They've added both teams have a DH. You know, it seems like it's just totally a different game than what it used to be. They have ghost runners now or something in the 10th inning now. It's like
not in the postseason, but in the regular season they put the ghost runner at second base.
Wow.
And it's just it's a different sport than it was even 5-6 years ago. And
as a baseball purist, you know, as a fan, what do you think? I mean, what is are you in favor? Are there more to come? I guess that's what I should say. How much more are they going to change the game?
Well, we'll find out, because next year there's going to be tons of changes. And it's like, how much time do we have to get into this? Because I could go on.
I'm sorry.
I
got you.
No, but I mean, it's definitely a conversation I
talk about in the summer. Yeah.
No, we have to bring it up in the off season too, because I wonder if college baseball is going to have to make some of those changes. You know, you're not banning the shift, but you got to have all four infielders feet on the dirt. You know, they're only going to allow 2 pickoffs to first base.
What?
They're only going to allow 2 pickoffs to first base. What they're trying to do, and I'm in favor of some of this stuff, all they're trying to do, I think, is to reintroduce some of the things that made baseball fun to begin with. The game's changed to where it's almost just strikeout, walk, home run. And we've lost sight, or not lost sight, we've lost some of the things that made it special. Speed, great infield defense, base stealing, that kind of thing. The shift, in some ways, has helped ruin the game, but that's also led to the way that hitters hit. You know, how do you beat the shift? You hit it over the shift. You get pitchers that throw 185 miles an hour and nobody can make contact because they're just trying to hit home runs. So I'm in favor of these changes, and the thing about the designated hitter I felt was just inevitable, because I'd rather have everybody playing by the same rules, since there really is no difference between the American and the National League, and there hasn't been outside of the designated hitter for years. So I just like seeing. First of all, I don't like watching pitchers hit because they stink, and it's more real. Honestly, more real baseball, I think, now. You see hitters who know how to hit instead of pitchers.
It's tough, growing up, you play both sides of the ball in all your sports, and I guess it gets real individualized as you get older and you get professional. And your pitchers, I could see as an owner, as a baseball manager, why do I want to send my pitcher out there that maybe he could get hurt at taking a bat when I have a guy I'm paying money that's all he does is hit. So it makes, when you're putting the money into it, and I guess that's what kind of drives everything, I guess it starts to make sense.
Well, and it goes a little bit, like humoristically to the conversation we had earlier about kickers. It's like, all right, it's such a specialized position. It means the rest of them don't view them as athletes, right? But you go ahead and try to throw a ball 102 miles an hour and then throw a curveball right after that. And you know what? Maybe that is an athlete. The thing about the playoffs, what they've changed is, like, baseball's built for two things. One, Major League Baseball seasons are built for 162 games. You build your team for 162 games. And it's also a series-based sport. So you don't build your team for, a 4-game series against the Cardinals or a 3-game series against the Braves. But essentially, once it gets into the postseason, that's what it's about. And the regular season has just been devalued. You had a team that won 111 games in the Dodgers lose a postseason series to a team that won 89 in the Padres. So all those extra wins never mattered at all. Wow. It should have mattered, but it didn't. Dodgers were the better team for the regular season, but in a short best of 5, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, okay, go ahead.
I was going to take another call.
Let's do it.
We got Jimbo in Hot Springs. What's up, Jimbo? How are you?
Hey, guys. How are y'all today?
Good. How are you?
Good. Hey, I'm doing great. Hey, I had a question for Matt, and, of course, he's played quarterback and everything, but during the course of practice, and I guess you use KJ for an example, Of course, I know concussion's a whole different deal, but a lot of coaches will say, hey, he didn't practice Wednesday, so we're going to go with the second guy. But say, for example, he had a rib injury or a leg injury or something like that, and, he's cleared to play by Friday. What goes into making that decision? And I guess why is a coach will say, hey, he didn't practice Wednesday, so we're definitely going with the second string guy. I'm just curious about that. I'll hang up and listen.
Well, yeah, each coach is going to have the rules, and that some coaches are that way. If you don't practice all week, you're not playing in the game, especially in the college level. But I think it's so different now with the concussion protocol that it's. Man, it's just a tricky deal. We just don't know enough, and the concussions is such. I rather these coaches. And as a player, you ask every one of these players, they want to play. Every single one of them to play. But as the coach and as what's right for the kid, this young man, and you go in this mama's living room and you tell these parents, you say, I'm going to watch after your baby when he comes up here and plays for me. I'm going to help him get have a chance to go play professional ball. And now I guess they play professional ball in college level, but. You say this, you're going to take care of the kid, the child, and make him into a young man. So I don't think it would be right that if he has concussion symptoms to put him back out there and endanger him long term. But I think every coach has their own setup in the way, and every team knows how they're going to do. But that concussion protocol is just a different animal.
Yeah, that injury, and it's so weird to think that I really don't think up until recently, and maybe the last 15 years, that we even viewed a concussion as an injury.
Well, I had a concussion against the Colts, and just to use this story, and so this is just 12, 15 years ago, like you said. Played the rest of the game, and the next day we watch film, and coach is like, why'd you do this on this play? I'm like, I don't remember anything in the rest of the game. Never brought it up again. Wow. That was the end of the concussion state. It's like, oh, you had a concussion? We're not going to, okay, just make sure you're okay out of practice. Never brought it up again.
Now we got to take the break. I had an instance, I'll never forget this. There was a catcher that played on a team I worked for in Single A in the California League, and the guy just got bowled over at the plate to end the inning. Made the play, he just got run over by a tank, and then he had to lead off the next inning. Hit a home run, and made it around the bases. I was totally floored by this. Went to him after the game. He didn't even remember running the bases.
Right.
He did not remember. He had a concussion. There's no doubt about it. And he did not even remember the home run. This was an hour after the game. All right, we're going to step aside, and more on halftime. We'll wrap up the first hour after this.
Why do people do business with First Western? Because First Western builds relationships with all of their customers. They partner for the long haul to help you with your financial goals over all seasons of life. First Western is prompt, responsive, and they deliver with quick answers and on-time loan closings. When is the last time your banker called you? If you are looking for a high level of service and a financial partner who will listen and respond, try First Western. For more information, visit them online at firstwestern.com. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Are you an experienced concrete finisher? Do you want to make the highest salary in the area? Do you want to get paid bonuses for your good work? Then Forestgrin is for you. Apply now from any device, anytime, anywhere at goforestgrin.com. Goforestgrin.com. Apply now at goforestgrin.com. Are you an experienced dump truck driver? Do you want to make the highest salary in the area? Do you want to get paid bonuses for your good work? Then Forestgrin is for you. Apply now from any device, anytime, anywhere at goforestgrin.com. Goforestgrin.com. Apply now at goforestgrin.com.
I told you that front tire needed air.
I know, Dad.
Where's the tire iron? I told you, always keep a tire iron and a jack.
I know, Dad. I got it. Roadside assistance is included with my shelter insurance auto policy. It's one of the reasons you told me to get it, remember?
Maybe you do listen after all.
At Shelter, listening to you is what we do best.
Ask Shelter agents Randy Milam or Brad Howe about a free insurance review.
Hey, crappie fans. If you love crappie fishing, Crappie Expo, Branson, Missouri, October the 20th through the 22nd. More than 100 exhibitors. It's all crappie. Get the latest and greatest. Also, the world's largest crappie fry, hush puppies, and taters. Pro crappie teams fishing for over $300,000. Meet the pros, seminars, and concerts daily. Giving away $10,000 on Friday and again on Saturday. Cash is king.
That man's crazy.
CrappieExpo.com. CrappieExpo.com.
When it comes to your vehicle dent repairs, you want a local professional that you can trust. Littleton's Paintless Dent Repair is your place. Michael, his family, and team have been in the community for over 30 years and are the best in the business. When all the other pop-up hail damage places have packed up and left town, Littleton's is still here taking care of your vehicle every day. Stay local. Stay with the best. Stay with the name you know and trust. Littleton's Paintless Dent Repair. Highway 112 off I-540 in Pensacola.
Have you recently experienced possible hail damage to your roof? Is it just time to replace the one you currently have? Brothers Roofing and Restoration is a properly licensed and insured local roofing contractor in Arkansas. Brother Alexander has over 25 years of experience in home insurance and adjusting and residential roofing. Brothers Roofing Crew has 17 years of experience themselves. He provides free estimates with the most competitive pricing in the area while using the industry's best materials. So call 479-353-3877 to arrange a time for Brother to inspect your roof.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3. Make sure to follow Halftime on Twitter at HitThatLineAR and on Facebook and Instagram at HitThatLine. Now back to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
The books pretty darn quickly here on a Tuesday on Halftime. That's when you're having fun and when you're pretty darn cold too. So we'll wrap the first hour up with our first reset.
Reset and refresh.
Reset. The great reset.
It's time for the Halftime Reset, giving you all the info and facts you need to make it through the rest of your day in sports.
False start. Both teams back on the get back here.
Now, here's Phil Elson with your Halftime Reset.
Well, earlier this morning, the SEC office put out the preseason poll for women's basketball, and Arkansas women's basketball has their highest preseason prediction, according to the media, since 94-95. Picked fourth in the SEC preseason poll. Mike Neighbors is headed towards Birmingham right now because today is media day for women's basketball in the Southeastern Conference. South Carolina picked to win the league again. Top four, followed by Tennessee, LSU, and Arkansas. Ole Miss, Florida, Kentucky, Mississippi State, Georgia, Alabama round out the top 10. A&M, Missouri, Auburn, Vanderbilt are the bottom four. We do have Mike Neighbors scheduled to join us Thursday, so we'll talk about Arkansas women's basketball then. Arkansas tennis, Carolina Gomez Alonso became the first Razorback in a dozen years to win the ITA Central Regional Championship by winning twice yesterday against players from Oklahoma State and Oklahoma in separate matches in Stillwater. Gomez Alonso is a freshman from Madrid, Spain. She now moves to the ITA Fall National Championships in 2 weeks in San Diego. You probably already heard Arkansas Auburn, 11 o'clock. Next Saturday on the Plains, it'll be on SEC Network. Hogs have played 2 11 in the morning games, losing to Mississippi State and defeating South Carolina. And the other games Next Saturday in the SEC, Georgia at Florida on CBS 2:30. 3 o'clock, South Carolina hosting Mizzou. Tennessee will host Kentucky. And then A&M and Missouri wrap it up at 6:30. And that is your first hour reset. It's going to be fun getting you back on here. He told me he saw you the other day in the basketball building.
I was just going to bring that up, man. What a cool guy. I mean, talk about places where you'd want to go play. Like, how would you not want to go play for Coach Neighbors? I mean, I sat there and chatted with him for 15 minutes the other day. Man, it was just like, I mean, just the nicest guy you could be. Yeah, very knowledgeable, funny, smart. Yeah, I'm excited. We get him on the show once a week during the season, or is this a special thing on Thursday?
No, this will be a special thing.
Nice.
And you know, when you get Nabes on put him in front of microphone, there's going to be plenty of other things you can bring up outside of basketball.
That's right.
With basketball season coming up in 2 weeks, that'll be the focus when we talk with Nabes on Thursday. Meanwhile, our focus is on the second hour of halftime with Clay Henry. 877-377-6963. We are right back.
Riley Farm Dental at the entrance to Riley Farms provides every type of dental care and procedures for you and your family. From general dentistry, braces, implants, and cosmetics, Dr. Bo Sparkman and Dr. Brogan give all of their patients better lives with a better smile, more confidence, and a comfortable experience every time. Riley Farm Dental, 5901 Riley Park Drive, Suite A, at the entrance to Riley Farms. Call 226-3500 for an appointment or visit RileyFarmDental.com.
We've invented a new messaging system using the crisp sounds of Bud Light. Crisp Code, Lesson 86. This is how you say, gee willikers, it's a hot one. Let's cool down with some Bud Lights. That's it for today. Bud Light. Crisp.
Enjoy responsibly. Bud Light Beer, Anheuser-Busch, St. Louis, Missouri.
Are you a qualified CDL driver with local or over-the-road experience? Tired of driving older equipment? Not having enough home time? Feel like a number? You need Patriot Transport. Patriot Transport, based in Centerville, with locations in Russellville and Van Buren, provides you with late model equipment, has a family atmosphere, and provides you the opportunity to make $95,000 per year. Patriot Transport works with you to get the miles you want and the family time you need. Change your life today. Visit PatriotTransport.com to apply. That's PatriotTransport.com.
Hardee's new Charbroiled Double Deals, starting at $2.99 each, have the Academy for New Offerings hailing this double cheeseburger deal as very new indeed. How much more new does it get than the new Bacon Double Cheeseburger and the new California Classic Double Cheeseburger? Not much newer than that. Well, I've got news for the Academy. After this, I'm getting myself a double cheeseburger from this new deal. The new Charbroiled Double Deal, starting at $2.99 each at Hardee's. Feed your happy. Tax not included for a limited time. Price and participation may vary. Visit restaurant or app for details.
The Tackle Box just opened up a new box of Wapsie fly fishing supplies. Hackle, tungsten beads, lightning strikes, and mustad hooks. Marabou, chenille, vices, fly tying starter kits, bucktails, and more. Everything for beginners and experts alike. Tackle Box also has a freezer full of frozen bait for all your fishing needs. Skipjack, squid, whole gizzard shad, carp chunks, perch, and more. Be sure to visit them online at tacklebox.online.
The adventure starts at the Tackle Box for sportsmen just like you.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, lots of sunshine. Our high temperatures today, upper 40s north, mid 50s south. Clear, cold tonight, mid to upper 20s. Wednesday, we're right back to sun, mid to upper 50s. And Thursday, sunny skies, a much warmer day with our high right around 70 degrees. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
Follow us on Twitter at HitThatLineAR and on Facebook and Instagram at HitThatLine.
Good station.
KERX Paris Fort Smith. This is Halftime, coming at you from the Busch Light Studios on ESPN 95.3.
Broadcasting on ESPN Arkansas and streaming on HitThatLine.com.
We got a good one tonight. You got a team in here that doesn't respect you.
Live from the Busch Light Studios.
Don't ask me if I'm all right. Joaquin said dominate, and we not doing it. We're going to go get one and celebrate on somebody else's field. Matt Jones may take it to the house and the dunk.
You said you had very motivational words at halftime.
It's Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones. Produced by Matt Travis.
Hold the rope! Hold the rope! Hold the rope! I'm putting my heart up. Let's go! go, man!
Probably as frustrated as I've been the first half.
Do we believe?
Second half, very happy.
Is vintage Matt Jones. On the road, on the road, 1, 2, 3. Turn that damn true ball.
Now, here's Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
Rolling along on this fabulous Tuesday on Halftime here on ESPN Arkansas and hitthatline.com. I'm Phil Elson. Got Matt Jones in studio along with Matt Travis. And Clay Henry is on with us for his usual hit on a Tuesday. What's up, Clay? How are you?
I'm doing great. This is going to be fun.
Have you met my new co-host? Have you heard? Do you know who this is? You ever hear of him before?
I've heard of him. Yeah.
Clay, my dad always asks about you, man. Every time I see him, he asks how you're doing. So it's good to talk to you, buddy.
Your pop and I watched a lot of practices together, and everybody saw us, and they thought I was getting the scoop.
The scoop.
And you know what we were talking about, man?
Probably hunting or fishing. It
was turkey hunting.
There you go.
Most of the time it was turkey hunting. Everybody's like, what are you and Steve talking about? I was like, it's just between me and him.
I've learned this by doing radio with Clay. It's been over a year now we've been doing this, Clay. You know, we can talk sports with Clay until the sun goes down. But before the moon goes down, we can talk anything involving fishing and hunting.
That's right.
Not like I'm really good at talking that, but I just let Clay go off for a while because he knows his stuff. I guess your dad's kind of the same way, right, Matt?
He's outdoors just all the time. There's something that's hunting, fishing, country boy. You know, that's
smallmouth fishing. Lee Creek,
Clay, you already know. That's it, man. Go anywhere. All those small creeks around Oklahoma and Arkansas up there. That's what we're doing. 7th grade, 8th grade, 9th grade, 10th grade. Yep, that's it. Tearing them up.
You know, we plotted these, turkey hunting trips up on White Mountain. You know, that's somewhere up above Cass, I think. And we just never pulled it off. I mean, I don't know why, but, we were going to do it. We're going to do it. And maybe we still will. You'll have to be the conduit to set that up, Matt. But
yeah.
I know he'll call in a gobbler for me. I mean, he just will.
He's taking my sisters. Has a couple babies, so he's taking the grandbabies. He gets them. They're 8, 9, 10. Same thing. He's loving it. Getting them out there deer hunting. I had the youth hunt and just taking them. Just whatever it is. That's right.
Hey, Matt, what kind of an uncle are you? Are you the fun uncle? Are you the one that tosses the kid in the air?
Yes, they are. We'll go play PlayStation, and I'll say, get your game up before I come back over here. I'll beat them 20. I'll be like, I hadn't played this game in 2 years. No, they're the best, man. They're little ballers.
You beat them and then let them know about it, right?
That's right.
That's very good. Clay, Clay sent me some pictures from this morning. Who you have with you here, man? This looks like
I had the Robinson girls. I had Reese and Piper, and I guess 2nd or 3rd grade. I mean, they're probably listening going home back to Bentonville. They were over on their fall break, and we fished yesterday when it was nice. And then this morning, I just thought it was probably going to be too cold for them, 25, 28 degrees at 8. And, there's a creek next to the hatchery where the outflow goes in, and big fish just hanging there, and it's only for kids 15 and under. So, but now, adult can help them and can net them and can fix their line, but it's fly fishing, and it's a little technical, but there's so many fish out there, you're going to catch a few. And I had them out there, but we went to the fly shop first, and we tied some midges, and I showed them, and I let them pick the colors, and we went and fished the ones that they decided I should tie. So that was a lot of fun that they got to see the whole process and understand the tying. And they're both good little fisher people, and Reese and Piper.
They actually look like they're interested in what you're showing them. I mean, they're watching intently what you're doing here in this photo.
They call me Fisherman Clay.
Well, so do we.
We go out there and hammer the fish.
So they had a good time, caught some fish. Man, it's fun watching kids get into it a little bit, fishing, hunting, all that stuff. It's cool.
Our state is just so wonderful.
It's beautiful, yeah.
Yeah, they call it the natural state. Now, I'm going to transition. Matt Jones is the natural. I mean, as far as I believe I saw you as a 10th grader. It would have been Van Buren, right?
Yeah, Van Buren in 10th grade.
It was at Rogers, and Rogers had the lead, and y'all called timeout, put the ball in your hand for the last shot, and that's when I knew you were a gamer. I think you drained it.
We beat Rogers both my sophomore year. We had Billy Ferris on that team, and he was he was our guy, and we beat Rogers both times that year. So I can't, I'm getting older.
But it was the last shot.
Yeah, man. We went. I think we went 10-4 that year. We had a good. Got beat by North Little Rock that year. Who Joe Johnson's Little Rock Central team beat that North Little Rock team, and we had a good year that year. That was a fun year.
Well, that was the first time I saw you play any kind of game. And I was sitting with a golfing friend of mine, Mike Dunaway, and then John Bozeman, who's now a U.S. Senator. And we were just kind of plotting how Rogers was going to win, and that was until you decided that it was time to take the game over. And I mean, and Billy was getting every rebound.
Billy's a stud, man. He's so cerebral, just smart out there. I think he's up there in Fayetteville right now. He went overseas and played basketball for a few years. Man, he was really good.
Yep. Well, those are fun times.
Yes, sir.
Recall all that, and that was before you went to Northside. And then, it's kind of transitioned to the Razorbacks. But my favorite memory of you, and you had a bad shoulder the spring before your senior year, right? The spring was kind of messed up.
No, my spring ball, I hurt it my freshman year up there at Arkansas. My spring ball's freshman year.
You didn't really get to do much in the spring, and they started you with like the third team in August. And it was, who are the other quarterbacks? It was like,
you had Zach Clark was our starter that year. We're talking about Fayetteville, right?
Yeah, Razorbacks.
Yeah, freshman year you had Zach Clark. You had
was Tavares
Jackson, Ryan Sorhan.
Dow Loggins was on the team.
Dow Loggins, because we switched numbers. He was actually number 9, and I was number 13. And I switched right before the first game. I was like, Coach, I got to be in a single digit. And so me and Dow switched. And then you had Gerald Howard. Yeah.
Do you have to give him anything for the number?
Oh man, Dow. Yeah, Dow's the man.
So just to kind of go way back. My daughter Becca was in classes with both you and Dow, if I remember right.
She ended up giving me a yearbook. I think I'd missed out on getting my last yearbook, and we did an interview, and she had an extra copy for me. Yes, I remember her too. How's she doing?
Yeah, she's doing great. She's over here. She married a fly fishing guide. Now,
nice.
How lucky am I that she marries a fly fishing guide? So it's like, I mean, my buddies are like, "How'd you do that?" Well, there's no way I could have put them together.
You raise them
I couldn't have put them together. If I had suggested that, she would have said no. So, yeah, but I guess what I remember is that you hadn't been able to practice much in the spring, and that when y'all went to the first scrimmage, you were with the third team.
That's right. No, you're right. That was spring ball when I heard it. Yeah, you're right.
And you went down the field over and over and over. And, I mean, it was a collection of misfits. I mean, I'm not saying you were, but the offense – I mean, you just think about what's the third-team offensive line. And y'all – so that was the last time I ever saw you with anything but the first team.
That was. I think Coach Lee came up to me and said, "You made it easy for me this year," because I think we scored on like 3 straight possessions or something. Yeah, and he was like, "You made it because." Yeah, I'd hurt my shoulder, blah, blah. And he was, I love Coach Lee, but, I went over to basketball, and he wasn't really excited about me going over to basketball. He's like, and Coach Nutt had already said I could go. I was like, Coach, I'm going. So that was kind of the deal where it's like, and it's okay. I understand it. I like competition, and I wanted to compete, and it worked out. But he did. He came up to me afterwards and said, "Thanks for making it easy on me." So you're exactly right.
But it was a beautiful thing, and you were. Now, y'all were talking in the first hour. I listened to y'all coming back from the river, and y'all were talking about Russell Wilson. And to me, what made Russell Wilson so great with the Seahawks is just improvising and his wheels. And that's what you had. And in that particular scrimmage, I don't think it mattered what play y'all ran. You improvised. And
2 of those were. One of them was a long one down to Richard Smith. He had got out there. Yeah, that was and And you know, Clay, I think KJ kind of does some of that when he scrambles a little bit. I've noticed, and you might know more than me, but it seems like when you're watching him play down there that he keeps his eyes down the field, like what you're saying Russell Wilson does. He doesn't necessarily look to just take off, and he can run and is a willing runner, but he keeps his eyes down the field and still wants to make that pass. And he's really good out of the pocket.
So you can expect this, but the good ones do not see the rush. If you're looking at the rush,
you can't. Yeah,
you don't see the receivers.
You can't see them.
I mean, you just feel the rush, right?
The good ones do. Yeah, if you get hit, get a little gun shy, you might start peeking over there. You might go slap your left tackle and say, "Hey, buddy, let's go. Let's let this happen again." But yeah, you have to feel it. That you have to keep your eyes downfield. You're exactly right.
Well, there's what you guys are talking about, which is it's like escaping the rush. Knowing the pocket is collapsing and how to get out. And then there's the play that KJ made at BYU. I mean, 4 defensemen had their hands on him. Looked like a couple almost had him wrapped up. I mean, I gave up on the play. Chuck gave up on the play. All of us did. Everybody except KJ and Trey Knox. That's different than what you're talking about because, first of all, you got to get away from people that are grasping onto you. And you can only do
you're
that.
You're looking at the rush then, yeah.
Well, if you've got to be a certain size,
you're exactly right. Once they get a hold of you, you're looking. But KJ's able to use that strength and his athletic ability that most quarterbacks you can't coach that. That's just his natural ability to have. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It comes to like like throw the word creativity in there. There's I guess a courage that goes with it too. But it's just amazing to see the ability to get away and then find a receiver where you had no idea where he was, until the moment that you just saw him. I mean, when I look at all the plays we've watched this year, Clay, I think that's the best play I've seen this season for any Razorback. Maybe the Bryce Stevens punt return would be second.
Well, when they do the highlights film of this season, that's going to be when the music gets really loud. I mean, that's the play, and it's the defining play of that game. And right now, that's the biggest game of the season because it snapped a 3-game losing. 3 couldn't go to 4. It just couldn't. And now they have a chance to probably go to a decent bowl. I mean, they got a chance to win, I'd say 3, 4 more games. They're at 4.
Which one scares you the most, Clay? Is it the Ole Miss game or is it either the at Auburn or at Missouri game?
Oh, I think Ole Miss is the most talented team on the schedule.
Yeah, I do too. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, that game is in Fayetteville.
I'd still be nervous about LSU.
Now, LSU, every time I watch them, they look a little better. And people make fun of Brian Kelly, but the dude can coach. And wherever he's played or coached, their teams got better as the season progressed. And this LSU team will get better because he's got good coaches. So when it gets there, the LSU game will not be easy.
No, I don't think it's going to be easy. I think it's going to be awfully tough. I think, we'll learn quite a bit, I think, about Ole Miss, with what they've got coming up because I know they got LSU this weekend. So maybe I'll base my opinion on what happens on that game. But I like their quarterback. I like LSU's quarterback a lot. Daniels is a threat with his arm and with his legs. And I feel like for Ole Miss, with Corral last year, they had a great run game. And they had a great vertical passing game. We learned a lot about that in the game that Arkansas lost to them 52-51. But I don't see them being, a varied offense. LSU with Daniels, I mean, Booty's finally getting involved in the offense a little bit more, finally caught his first touchdown. Daniels can run it too. The more I think about it, the more I'd be a little more nervous about LSU. Of course, you got
well. They come up first, so we're definitely worried about. Man, and we talked about this yesterday. That's why I kind of wanted to ask Clay, Phil, is those road games. It's so hard to win on the road. It's like, does it scare you more to go on the road or to play Ole Miss or LSU at home? Those are 4. Those are. We're gonna have to score 45 in every one of those. Do you see us? We're gonna have to score 40 points in every one of those games to win those games.
Well, the defense is going to have to get a little better,
right?
And I think they will. I was pleased that they got Poop Hall, the 27, the linebacker. They got him in the game, and he made some plays. He's got to play more. And, I mean, you can see Bumpers beat up, and Drew Sanders probably is too. those guys are carrying injuries that nobody knows about. Now, we talked a little bit, I think, the last 2 weeks about Bumper's hip. But linebackers and safeties, their shoulders. Matt,
they're
what's your
broken.
shoulder like after about 8 games if you're playing defense?
You're right. Ken Hamlin, I know those guys. Yeah, the guys, every one of those safeties, they all had those Tony Bua. They had those Caleb Miller, those little arm bands that like keep your shoulder in place. Yeah, they're just beat up. And he's made Bumper Pool's the leading tackler, man. He's made a lot of tackles.
Yeah, so it's just in November is about what you got left. I'm talking about players and then what each player's got left. And so it changes from week to week. And, you're hopeful that you get some guys back with this open date. But Auburn's got an open date, too.
We needed it, though. I think we needed it, yeah.
Well, it's also partially, and I want to take Charlie's call after a minute here. It's also partially, and this will be interesting, I think, when Arkansas and Auburn play. It's what you feel you've got to play for. Arkansas right now with the win over BYU, they're looking at, whatever bowl game is ahead. Now, I've always thought if you're a competitor, you just have to go on the field and you compete. But you also know, in football, yeah, you're playing to get to a bowl game and a better bowl game the more games you win. For Auburn, I don't know if a bowl game is really all that much of a possibility. Are they playing to keep their coach with a job, even though it's inevitable he's not going to be the coach? He is going to be the coach, by the way, I think, when Arkansas plays him. Otherwise, he'd have been fired after Saturday's loss.
I think you're right, yeah.
Or on Sunday. So there's a heck of a lot more for Arkansas to play for than I think Auburn. Let's take Charlie's call, then we got the break. Charlie, good to hear from you, man. How are you?
Well, it's like a dream come true. I got the greatest four ever right here on the phone with me.
I'm just going to step back and let you talk to the other two, okay?
I'm going to try to do that. I was looking at the stream yesterday, and I saw Matt's beard there, and I was like, man, I've been trying to get Matty on board. Phil, I've been trying to get you to grow your beard out. You said you were going to try. And
I shaved on Friday, man. I went the opposite direction. It hurt.
Yeah, I feel you. Hey, Matt, I was going to ask you, back when you were coming out, did they have like a rating on you? You were like were you a 4-star recruit or a 5-star?
I was a 3-star. But the thing with me is nobody knew what to make of me because I threw for 900 yards and rushed. Yeah, I was just they didn't know what position I was going to play. So I was a 3-star. Yes, sir.
Okay, that's what I was thinking. I didn't know if they had rivals out back then or whatever.
I was the 31st dual threat quarterback or something like that. I think I was top 50, like 31 or something. But like Miami offered me to play tight end, Duke offered me to play free safety. It was just nobody knew what to. Coach Nutt let me play quarterback.
Well, that's what I was going to ask you because I know this. I know we're talking about Arkansas and all, but hey, man, you're all Arkansas. So I was going to ask you: was there ever a point, when you were younger, because you did have to make the transition, obviously, when you went to the NFL. And God, you were 6'6". You were 6'6", what, about 230 or so?
I played at 220.
6'6", about 220.
Yeah, playing.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, let me ask you: was there ever a time though that you just thought, maybe I should make the switch here in college, or the competitor and you just said, I ain't doing it, because I think a lot of people have been trying to, make Malik do something that he wasn't really wanting to do there for a while. I know a lot of people have compared Malik to you, and I'm like, well, it's not really a comparison, but, the speed, the ability to, make something happen, it's unbelievable, off the chart. But my question to you is, like, was there ever a time, that you thought maybe I should make the switch, or you just were dead set, hey, I'm playing quarterback in college? And was there ever that time?
Yeah, no, thank you for the question.
I appreciate it, guys.
Yeah. Man, it's hard to get into that situation, and like players want to play. I wanted to be a quarterback. So now Malik, I'm sure that he wants to be a quarterback. He got recruited, and everybody told him he probably had a lot of the similar situation. Man, I'd say I want to play quarterback. Until your red shirt's off, can I help the team? But I want the chance to play quarterback. So if that's not here, then it's not going to be here the way the game is. But if I'm him and he wants to play quarterback, I would try to play quarterback for sure.
It's good to hear from you, Charlie. Thank you. Yeah, I mean, I guess some people would try to make that comparison with you and Malik. Yeah,
Malik's a stud. He throws a good deep ball. He needs practice. He needs some reps.
At quarterback.
Yes, he needs some reps.
Not at the other positions. Yeah.
It's he's not going to get any reps with KJ. He's not going to get any reps. It's hard to get him reps if KJ's healthy.
That's right. But I agree, too.
I can remember somebody telling me one time, I don't want you really to be the rider. I can just carry the briefcase for the other dude. No, I want to write. I want to play quarterback, man.
You know what, Clay? Until the writing position is open for you, we're going to send you down to the field to be a photographer every once in a while when we need it. That's what the deal was with Malik.
If your red shirt's off, man, I want to play. That's just how it goes. If I can't play quarterback, let me get out on the field.
All right, we got to step aside. We're right up against the break here. Brought to you by our friends at Washita Farms. They've been making Lark for a while now. You've probably tried it, the full spectrum seltzer with the perfect balance of hemp-derived THC and CBD. So you can catch a buzz with Lark with no booze at all. They don't have any alcohol in Lark. There's no sugar, carbs, or calories, but it tastes great. 4 flavors are strawberry guava, mango, berry, grapefruit. Mix it with what you want or just drink it by itself. Find Lark at your local adult beverage store or have it shipped to your doorstep, and you got to go to larkhemp.com to do that. And you got to be 21 years of age or older to consume Lark. Calls and texts on halftime at 877-377-6963. We are right back.
You're listening to Toyota Tuesday. Stop by your local Toyota dealer. Toyota, let's go places.
Deep three on the way, and it's good. Outlet to Devo. It is over. Down goes Auburn. The number 1 team in the country is defeated, and they are rushing the court at Bud Walton Arena. They are rushing the floor at Bud Walton Arena. Don't dance on that. Hey, don't do that. No.
Listen to every Razorback basketball game right here on ESPN 95.3 and hitthatline.com.
Hello, this is Sue from the paint store in Van Buren. We are set and ready for all your spring and summer projects. We keep real samples of your Richards paint on file so we can be sure it matches every time. No computer can do that. The paint store in Van Buren. Color expertise and 34 years of knowledge outweighs all the competition. No other paint seller can do that. The paint store in Van Buren, Fayetteville Road, 474-4505.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
They say consistency is the key to success. They weren't wrong. So how about grabbing a beer that's consistently smooth, consistently refreshing, and consistently light? You might just find that the road to success can be pretty enjoyable. Michelob Ultra, the perfect balance of taste and refreshment, and only 2.6 carbs and 95 calories. It's only worth it if you enjoy it. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Riley Farm Dental, at the entrance to Riley Farms, provides every type of dental care and procedures for you and your family. From general dentistry, braces, implants, and cosmetics, Dr. Bo Sparkman and Dr. Brogan give all of their patients better lives with a better smile, more confidence, and a comfortable experience every time. Riley Farm Dental, 5901 Riley Park Drive, Suite A, at the entrance to Riley Farms. Call 226-3500 for an appointment or visit RileyFarmDental.com.
United Hail Pros is your one-stop shop auto body repair shop, specializing in paintless dent repair. Locally owned and operated, zero out-of-pocket with free car rental from Enterprise with a lifetime warranty. Got hail damage? Don't delay. Call United Hail Pros yesterday. 479-309-3998. That's 479-309-3998.
Nobody has a better selection of 2022 and 23 Fords than Harry Robinson's Salisal Ford. More than 36 new Fords have arrived or are on the way. Ford F-150s, Expeditions, Escapes, Broncos, and Bronco Sports are all at Harry Robinson. And you will never pay more than MSRP. That's Harry Robinson's promise to you. The biggest and best selection of new Ford vehicles are at Harry Robinson's Salisal Ford. 1 mile south of exit 308 off of I-40 in Salisal and online at harryrobinson.com.
High-Tech Truck Refrigeration Service is all about God, family, and our country, and they proudly display the red, white, and blue. At High-Tech, they specialize in truck and trailer repair, service, and are certified in refrigeration repair. And every day, give thanks to those who have served our country and paid the ultimate sacrifice for folks like you and me. High-Tech Truck Refrigeration Service, located in Van Buren at 6410 Alma Highway or at 479-474-2220.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game.
ESPN 95.3.
My soul straight down out of the world, but my fingers holding on to the devil. I know all my troubles are hanging your trigger. Take your eyes and your mind.
You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones. Want to jump in the conversation? Call or text into Halftime at 877-377-6963. Now, here's Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
Last segment, we briefly brought up the idea of, when you get into November, part of what you're dealing with on a football team is what you're playing for, what you feel you have to play for. Arkansas certainly has a bowl berth to play for, and I guess depending on which one, well, it depends on how many more games they win. I've always thought, Clay, Maddie, that the guys who make the prognostications, the predictions for what the bowl matchups are going to be, they know what they're doing. I mean, they're gonna put some juicy matchups in there that deal with drama, that deal with the kind of thing that doesn't sometimes have anything to do with what's going on the field. It's just fun things to write about. So, I see The Athletic, it was Stuart Mandel that put his bowl projection out for the Music City Bowl, and we briefly brought it up yesterday. Arkansas, Illinois in the Music City Bowl, which is a
That'd
what
be
is that?
fun.
It's
That'd
a
be
New
fun.
Year's Eve bowl. It's an 11 o'clock kick, and that would be fun.
Nashville's a good city.
Nashville's a great city.
Yeah.
And the stadium isn't great, but I mean, it'd be a great place to spend New Year's Eve. Be a great place to play a postseason game, and hey, it'd be great to see our old friend Brett Bielema once again and introduce him to his former offensive line coach Sam Pittman.
Oh, it'd be nice to get Illinois and get out there and get a W. I mean, we got a long ways away for anything like that. But would you take Music City Bowl now? If you just said, hey, we got Music City Bowl, we'll win 3 of these next 5, and everybody, would you think that's a successful season?
I think making it to a bowl game
I do.
would make it a successful year.
I think if we win 3 of these next 5, it'd be pretty good. Win a bowl game.
Yeah, and y'all are leaving out the other part of that matchup that would be pretty interesting is Barry Lunny.
Yeah,
that's right.
Calling the offense.
Well, I think against our defense, if he can't put up 40, then we'll have to. Yeah,
Matt.
Whoa. No, Illinois, they struggle.
Yeah, I think you're stating the obvious.
I know. I'm having.
He
fun.
is here to speak his mind.
And there's other connections. Tenarius Wright is the strength coach at Illinois.
Okay, good for him.
Yeah, Tank. I think that's what he goes by.
Well, I'll tell you another thing that I think between those two teams, and again, it's like we're previewing a matchup that who knows if it's going to happen or not, but if it would, you'd have two of the teams that just line it up and try to ram it down an opponent's throat, when it comes right down to it. I don't know the name of the running back for it's Chase Brown. Brown leads the nation in rushing yards, and I'm just looking at the Illinois rushing offense. Yeah, almost 200 yards per game. And one of the top big backs in the country. That would be like an old school football game right there, man. Two teams just trying to run right at each other.
They do that, but what do? It's all out of the RPO, and that's what Barry's running. and it's what Kendall runs, and it is a vicious thing to try to stop. And we don't have time in this segment, but I want to get into the midline option, which is what Matt ran and David Lee coached. And I think people just assume they're called runs and called passes. They're not, are they, Matt?
They're not necessarily just called that way. You're reading the defense, and that we would call every one of our run plays like that would have a sister play for a pass play, and then you would also be able to change the run to the other side of the field. So, and then when you would have a pass play, you would have a check that would go to the run play. So that was kind of how the plays were called in, especially as you get older. At the next level, every play has another play. They have, yeah. So that's.
And I want to. And again, we don't have time for this, so don't even answer it, Matt. But I want to get into red zone options and stuff down there, because I think that some people understand and some people don't. That Hornsby, there's a lot to the red zone, and a young quarterback, that is like throwing them to the wolves. And don't answer, Matt, because we don't have time.
He speaks his mind and he takes direction at the same time. So Illinois would be a fun matchup. ESPN's predictors have Arkansas against either Purdue or Maryland in the same Music City Bowl. So, I mean, usually you'd look at playing Illinois and be like, I don't know how exciting that is. I remember when the announcement came to playing Penn State, that's, what do they call them, a logo school? There is no, there's no logo on the helmet there. Illinois is not a logo. Purdue isn't. Maryland isn't. But anytime you go up against your old coach and a former player from the same program too, it would get a lot of people interested in it, and especially when you're going north. Because I remember a couple weeks ago after the loss to Mississippi State, we started thinking to ourselves, pack the shorts up. Not going to be going to any warm weather. There's still the possibility of that happening, but you probably have to end up. Look, I mean, they were the same record at this point as they did last year. Ended up playing in Tampa. The difference is Arkansas last year beat A&M, beat Mississippi State. So it's not like those teams automatically go higher in the bowl pecking order, but maybe they do in that case. So I saw A&M is predicted by somebody to go to the Relia Quest Bowl, which is the Outback Bowl. And another one had them going to the game in Vegas, which I think that would be cool. I know Arkansas. Did you play in the Las Vegas Bowl, Matt?
That was my senior year of high school.
UNLV?
We played
Okay.
UNLV my first game. That was they used all the quarter.
The next season with. That's right. But that was at the UNLV stadium, man. I mean, that's a lot different. This is the Roomba. This is the big Roomba, which is one of the coolest looking stadiums I've seen on television. So I think that'd be a lot of fun if you head out that way, and maybe we could wear shorts in Vegas.
I see Lawrence Richardson going down the sideline with that interception. We couldn't move the ball all day. He picked it off. We win the game. Woo!
So you know what the coolest thing that happened in the Las Vegas Bowl?
Huh?
The guys in the press box got to meet Mr. Miyagi.
Pat Morita?
Yep.
What did you say to him?
I broke down in a stance.
Ask him to catch a fly?
I was like, man, I want to be in your dogie. Whatever they called it.
Oh man, I think you're gonna have to get on Cobra Kai. You watch too much Ted Lasso. You got to get Cobra Kai. Dojo. It's a dojo.
Yeah. Not a dogie.
A dogie is something that you scratch and feed 3 times a day and take.
Get along, little dogie.
Yeah, that's right, little dogie. 877-377-6963. We're gonna take our little dogie on a walk. We'll be back with more halftime after this.
Never doubt that you're the one, and you can have your dream. You're the best around. Nothing's gonna ever keep you down. You're the best around.
You're listening to Toyota Tuesday. Stop by your local Toyota dealer. Toyota, let's go places.
Hey, this is Mitch at Red River Ram, Dodge, Chrysler, and Jeep. And folks, this is my favorite time of year. It's Jeep Freedom Days. And you know, at Red River, one thing we believe in, that's freedom. Like right now, you've got the freedom to order your car online at redriverjeep.com. You can custom build it and get it however you want. And you have the freedom to take the in-person experience and come in and order your vehicle right here from a salesperson or buy one right off our lot. So make that beautiful drive to Heber Springs or check us out online at redriverdodge.com.
Cooler weather is on the way. Is your heating system ready? Let Ashley Air get your home ready with their $69 fall tune-up special. Ashley Air's trained technicians will check your system and make certain it's heating your home efficiently. It's just part of Ashley Air's 100% satisfaction guarantee. On game day, call the Hogs. When your heat needs repaired, call Ashley Air. Get your $69 fall tune-up now. Just go to AshleyAir.com to schedule your tune-up. That's AshleyAir.com. Proud sponsors of Razorback Athletics. Harry Robinson Buick GMC wants to buy your vehicle, and they'll pay top dollar today. Pre-owned car values are at an all-time high, and your car is worth more today than it ever will be again. If you are driving a 2013 model or newer with 120,000 miles or less, bring it to Harry Robinson Buick GMC, and they will pay you more for your trade. Even if you don't want to buy a new car, they will still buy yours. Harry Robinson Buick GMC, exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith.
This is Bruce Stanton, Vice President and General Manager of Pradco Fishing in Fort Smith. Our #1 volume lure out of our 20 fishing brands is the Bobby Garland Baby Shad. We make them by the millions in our facility in Fort Smith, and the Baby Shad is without a doubt the #1 soft plastic crappie lure in the U.S. Fish it on a light jig head or underneath a float, and you'll find it's as productive as live bait. Available at Walmart, Bass Pro Shops, Academy, LureNet.com, and tackle stores all over the place. The Bobby Garland Baby Shad.
Flu season will be here before you know it, and Law's Drug Store in Fort Smith has the regular and 65-plus senior flu shots ready now to care for you and your family. Law's Drug Store has COVID vaccinations and boosters available for ages 5 and up, as well as shingles, pneumonia, and whooping cough vaccines. Call 452-6116 and schedule your flu or vaccine shot appointment, or stop by Law's Drug Store, 6802 Rogers Avenue behind Outback Steakhouse. Law's Drug Store opens 6 days a week to safely care for you and your family.
The Party Place is in their new location at 1415 South Zero. 50% off Halloween decor. Hurry in while supplies last. The largest party supply store in Arkansas. Costumes starting at $9.99. Large animatronics, masks, wigs, fog machines, lights, and more. 10% off for veterans, teachers, and first responders. Now in their new location, 1415 South Zero by Atwoods.
Watch every Hog game this season at Joe's Grill and Cantina, your home for half-price apps and taps during every Hog game. With TVs all around the restaurant, you'll have a front row seat for all the action. Half-price appetizers like Joe's Sampler Platter, Ballpark Nachos, Tin Layer Dip, Brisket Nachos, and Mexican Pizza. And ask about Joe's Tailgate Packages to make your football experience even better in the comfort of your home. Half-price apps and taps for every Hog game at Joe's Grill and Cantina, 3400 South 74th Street, across from Harps. Are you a qualified CDL driver with local or over-the-road experience? Tired of driving older equipment? Not having enough home time? Feel like a number? You need Patriot Transport. Patriot Transport, based in Centerville, with locations in Russellville and Van Buren, provides you with late model equipment, has a family atmosphere, and provides you the opportunity to make $95,000 per year. Patriot Transport works with you to get the miles you want and the family time you need. Change your life today. Visit PatriotTransport.com to apply. That's PatriotTransport.com.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game.
ESPN 95.3.
You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones. Want to jump in the conversation? Call or text into Halftime at 877-377-6963. Now, here's Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
And Clay Henry as well, with us until the very end of the show today. Same on Thursday. And 877-377-6963. Anything you want to talk about here? Titus had asked earlier if I thought this was KJ's last. In fact, he said, is this KJ's last year? Because he thought he was out of eligibility. He's got another year. And, Matt, I mean, you brought up yesterday, you think he probably should stick around for another season.
100% he should stick around. That the NIL, the way that is, get some coaching, man. He's good. I'm not saying he's not good, but he'll have every Arkansas record. He's not playing for individual records, obviously, but he'll man, if I was him, stay around another year, take your coaching, get better. 100%. If I was around him in any way, that people that love him and would take care of him and tell him what to do. That's exactly right.
Clay,
one of the things that I believe that will continue to progress with this group is he's working with raw wide receivers. And I can remember Tyler Wilson when the wide receiver room changed, when he lost, Jarius and Joe and all those guys, and he really struggled. And that's where, KJ has had to kind of figure out these new wide receivers. He doesn't have Traylon, and we keep saying he doesn't have Traylon, but he didn't have Tyson Morris. He doesn't have Devion Warren. I mean, he lost a tight end. It was, Blake Kern was a pretty good target. So it's all new. And Matt, when you change those guys,
it's
what's
tough,
it like?
Clay, I had George Wilson and Richard Smith for 3 years, and George. I mean, without those guys, my freshman year getting in there, and I had a tricky situation, but you're kind of running plays that you haven't really been running, and then finally George is that guy you knew where he knew where he was going to be. Same with Richard Smith.
Your favorite blanket.
And so that's what he lost with Trevion. And then he's trying to figure out who is my guy that I can get to. Anytime you had man coverage, we all knew where he was going with the ball last year. This year, he doesn't have that guy. It takes he's growing up a little bit, and I think you're exactly right. He's going to progress and only get better, man. If he stays here and this group stays together, that they're going to put up a lot of points.
A lot of them should stick around too. I mean, I think the only receiver that's out of eligibility after this year is Warren Thompson. Landers still retained a red shirt. I think his first year at Georgia played in 4 games, plus he's got the COVID year. So Landers, I think, would be able to come back. Hazelwood's a redshirt junior, so he's got more eligibility.
He could be that guy. You think Hazelwood, that possession guy for him, like the guy that
Absolutely.
we get one-on-one matches, not necessarily the deep threat, but the guy we start feeling comfortable with, and it's like, hey, man, we can. I like what I've seen out of him. He catches the ball very natural.
That back shoulder throw, you got to be on the same page with your quarterback, and it just takes time. And that's the play that you can't defend.
It's unguardable. You can't, because that's what Coach Wiki and Coach Lee both said the same thing to me. They said if the D-back's eyes aren't looking at you, then your man's open. There's no – how can if your receiver's any good, if the D-back's not looking at you, then he ain't covering nobody if he can't see the ball. And same in basketball. You got to see man and ball, so that's why it's hard on him.
Yeah, throw that back door right. That's what it is. Yeah. Bryce Stevens is going to keep getting better. Katron Jackson is going to get better. We haven't even seen Isaiah Satania. I think he's a talent. So he's going to have guys to throw to, and they're going to mature in this offense.
I guess the first time we'll see Satania is during spring track season or something. I don't think he's even dressed yet.
You can still play him in some games and not lose a red shirt. So if he gets,
sure.
I think it's an ankle. If he gets it healthy, they'll get him out there for something.
Well, we saw Trey Knox. Knox has another year and came up big with that touchdown over the middle in the red zone. I guess I expected that Knox would be like the number one weapon when you get inside the red zone, but I think that was the second touchdown catch he's had inside the 20. Yeah, that's a guy you want to go to.
But the play was that the scramble with KJ was to Knox. That's who he found, wasn't it? I mean, Knox kind of just rumbled through the middle with it. So, I mean, it wasn't just KJ throwing it. It was Knox after the catch. I mean, he kind of went Matt Jones on everybody, just kind of rumbled through everybody.
I'm a Trey Knox fan. It seemed like, and I wasn't around up there at the team, but it seemed like the first couple games of the year they were finding ways to get him the ball, and then he kind of hadn't really – I mean, I guess when you play A&M and Bama, it's tough to get the ball, but now he's finally getting back into it. And then Green and Dubinion, both of them are studs, but Green, to me, has the best hands out of all our running backs up there. Seems to be the most natural. And in today's game, if you're a running back, you have to be able to catch the ball out of the backfield, and KJ does a good job of spreading the ball around.
You know, one guy, I don't know, we even brought up yesterday, which we probably should have, is Nathan Bax, who, is the tight end out of Jefferson City. On that touchdown run by Rocket, he was sprung on a great block by Bax, who, I think he's a terrific blocker. I know he got caught for a blind side, But that looked like a pretty good block, too.
That's the other thing, the intangibles, the blocking downfield that you missed when George and Richard left. The guys that had been there, they knew where the play's going to go. They know kind of that this run might go backside. They know where to take them. Just those little things, that's very true.
877-377-6963 for your thoughts on this. A text out of the 214. I hadn't seen this. He or she hears Hudson Clark is the first player to win SEC Player of the Week at 2 positions. Got it for cornerback in 2020 with the 3 interceptions off Corral with Ole Miss, and safety in this past Saturday's game against BYU. And we've got some thoughts on Hudson Clark for later in the show too. If you got any thoughts, you can get them to us. Plus, I got to ask you guys about Twitter once we get a chance here in hour number 3. Because, Matt, now that you're back on radio, like, the Don Slim's Twitter account is going to have to get live again, of course.
We're working on it.
And Clay Henry, I don't know if I'm ever going to get you on Twitter, but we might have to try at some point. Yeah, he's never going to do it. He's on Facebook.
I mean, it's like, that's just like giving somebody a free shot at you. And
yep.
It is a little nasty. I mean, I'm not a...
Yeah, and I don't want
nasty.
it.
Yeah, I know,
I don't
right?
have it.
I
don't
need
have
positive
that
people
me.
in my life. We need good things going, good vibes.
Yeah, and I don't want to have a discussion with somebody that I don't know if they know where my house is, if they are inebriated. I just don't want to have those discussions, and I like turning my phone off. So that's what I did, boys. I retired. I mean, I'm not going back.
No backtracking.
So don't ask me about Twitter. I'm barely on Facebook. Barely.
Well, you get some photos up there from your trips.
Yeah, but it isn't sports related. It's outdoor related. Correct?
Yeah.
Or food related.
I would enjoy watching, and the block button is or the mute button, really. That way, whoever's ranting at you doesn't realize you don't see what it is that they're sending you. That can always be kind of a fun thing to think about. But yeah, Sunday night or Saturday night, like late Twitter, when say talk about people that are inebriated, that can be some interesting reading. You don't have to get involved in it, but it could be
me
interesting
too,
reading.
Right?
I guess so. Now that you're retired, who knows what you're doing on a late Saturday night or Sunday night?
So I don't need to be doing that.
Really good point.
Take the phone away from me.
All right, well, I'm going to take the phone away for a quick moment. We'll wrap up hour number 2 with another reset here on Halftime.
It's too late to fight.
Back out of Randall Ford, 5500 Rogers Avenue in Fort Smith. Got my buddy Noel Harvey with me. Noel, when people come into the finance department, one of the things you're going to be able to talk to them about is all the warranties that Ford offers.
Absolutely. You guys, it doesn't matter how many miles a vehicle has on it. We can make sure that you can protect your investment. If you're going to spend a lot of money on it, the last thing you want to do is spend even more money on it. We've got warranties that will carry these things out to 150,000 miles, 200,000 miles. All you got to do is give us an opportunity to show you what we can do. Here at Randall Ford, we've got the premium warranties from Ford Motor Company. We also have third-party warranties for those older cars from ASC out of Mountain Home, Arkansas. Guys, we're going to get you taken care of no matter what here at Randall Ford. 24 hours a day at randallford.com, and you know where we're located at. We're the fourth oldest Ford dealership in the continental United States. 5500 Rogers Avenue. Come see us.
Hardee's new Charbroiled Double Deals, starting at $2.99 each, have the Academy for New Offerings hailing this double cheeseburger deal as very new indeed. How much more new does it get than the new Bacon Double Cheeseburger and the new California Classic Double Cheeseburger? Not much newer than that. Well, I've got news for the Academy. After this, I'm getting myself a double cheeseburger from this new deal. The new Charbroiled Double Deal, starting at $2.99 each at Hardee's. Feed your happy. Tax not included for a limited time. Price and participation may vary. Visit restaurant or app for details.
Chuck Barrett here. I know a thing or two about making great calls in Arkansas. And when it comes to your home service needs, make the call to Paschal Air, Plumbing, and Electric. Paschal offers plumbing services from simple drain repairs to running all new lines. And right now, you can replace your water heater with a professionally installed system from Paschal. Take $150 off a new traditional water heater or $300 off a tankless system. Paschal Air, Plumbing, and Electric. Arkansas owned. Arkansas operated. GoPaschal.com.
Family first. My dad used to tell us that all the time.
But family first wasn't just something he'd say to us. It was how he lived every day of his life. And it's how I try to live mine, too.
At Shelter Insurance, our agents are dedicated to helping provide personalized auto, home, and life protection that puts your family first.
Ask Shelter Insurance agents Randy Milam in Alma or Brad Howell in Van Buren about a free insurance review. Have you recently experienced possible hail damage to your roof? Is it just time to replace the one you currently have? Brothers Roofing and Restoration is a properly licensed and insured local roofing contractor in Arkansas. Brother Alexander has over 25 years of experience in home insurance and adjusting and residential roofing. Brothers Roofing Crew has 17 years of experience themselves. He provides free estimates with the most competitive pricing in the area while using the industry's best materials. So call 479-353-3877 to arrange a time for Brother to inspect your roof.
You know, fall in the natural state really is the best. Football, fantastic weather, and some of the country's most beautiful scenery. At Rath Auto Resources, we love fall because prices are falling on all of our Rath Road-ready vehicles, making this the time to save on your nicer, newer car. And it's so easy. Just call, click, or come by. Let one of our friendly, non-commissioned solution specialists do all the work. It's their job to help you find just the right car, get you extra for your trade, take care of all the financing, and make sure you leave in a car of your dreams at a price and payment that fits your budget. If you're keeping the car you have, let us take care of it for you in our Meineke Car Care Center. Philip and his team know how to take care of your car. More importantly, they know how to take care of you with convenient, affordable total car care and savings like half off brakes and buy 3 get 1 free on all tires. Why wait? Start enjoying your fall now in a nicer, newer car from Arkansas's favorite used car dealer, Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, 4515 Towson Avenue, Fort Smith, or online, rathauto.com.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Make sure to follow Halftime on Twitter at HitThatLineAR and on Facebook and Instagram at HitThatLine. Now back to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
Boy, I'm telling you, 2 hours goes really, really quickly here. And so we're coming up to the end of the second hour. That happened in less than 30 minutes, or at least that's the way it feels in the back of my head. Either that or I got something wrong with me. Don't answer that. Let's end the second hour with another reset.
Freeze frame! Reset and refresh. Reset.
The Great Reset.
It's time for the Halftime Reset, giving you all the info and facts you need to make it through the rest of your day in sports.
False start. Both teams back on the get back here.
Now, here's Phil Elson with your Halftime Reset.
Note out of the Arizona Fall League, former Razorback Heston Kjerstad hit an inside-the-park home run in the Fall League yesterday for the Scottsdale Scorpions. It's one of his 4 base hits. Kjerstad, who, of course, missed most of his first 2 years since the Orioles picked him second overall in the 2020 draft, has really come on in this Fall League. 10 games, leads the Arizona Fall League with 19 hits, tied for the lead with 4 home runs, 13 RBIs, is number 1 in the Arizona Fall League, and that is the premier prospect league in professional baseball. To college football, 2 weeks ago there were 16 unbeaten teams. Last week there were 15. Now there are 9, and 2 of them match up at Clemson and Death Valley this next weekend. Syracuse and Clemson will match up. I would take Clemson in that one easily. TCU is also unbeaten after taking down Oklahoma State. The Cowboys were one of those 15 unbeaten teams that is no longer unbeaten. UCLA is pretty much the only hope now for the Pac-12 to get a team into the playoff. Big Ten, hello. UCLA will be at Oregon this week. Ole Miss and LSU, watch out. I think Ole Miss is going down in that game.
I do too, Phil.
Tennessee will host UT Martin. And come down after Alabama? Yeah, but it's UT Martin. Michigan is unbeaten. They have a bye. Get Michigan State next week. There have been a few years where Michigan State has ruined Michigan's opportunity at being unbeaten. I'm not sure if Mel Tucker's team's got that one this year. Georgia, unbeaten as well. They've got a bye. Then it's the cocktail party in Jacksonville. And Ohio State will take on Iowa. And we'll see if Iowa can muster up double-digit points at all in that game. So if I were to look at any of these unbeaten teams, guys, Syracuse, Clemson, one of them won't be unbeaten, TCU, UCLA, Ole Miss, Tennessee, Michigan, Georgia, Ohio State. And Georgia and Michigan don't play, so they don't count for this weekend. Which of those teams, just give me one of them that you think will go down this weekend? You know what I think, and I think it's the Ole Miss Rebels.
What time is this game against LSU? Do we know what time the Ole Miss LSU game is?
You just give me a minute, and I'll tell.
Okay, I'm with you.
Syracuse is going down.
Yeah,
you already said that, right?
It's my. I would guess.
Yeah, I think Syracuse. Yes. I like TCU. Yeah.
Ole Miss LSU is the 2:30 CBS game in Baton Rouge.
I'm going to go LSU.
I think LSU is pretty good, but I think Ole Miss has got
a little
better players.
I'm gonna watch it. That's gonna be what I'm gonna watch that game Saturday.
That's right.
I got a good Tennessee-Alabama story for you. This is a friend of mine that's a Tennessee fan. He's at duck camp. Duck season hadn't started. He's just getting things ready. And he had a recorder set, and he set it for too short. And it went off. He's watching it at like 8:30 after he finished working in the fields. Alabama's lining up for a field goal. And that's when the recording went off. He's got no cell service there. He can't find out. He has to drive to find out who won.
He must have realized when he saw the goalposts in the river that Tennessee had won. That's how you figure out when you see the goalposts in the river. Have they purchased a new goalpost yet? Have they gotten enough donations? Well,
I bet
we'll get
they
a look
got
at
backups.
that.
It's just a charade.
Into the third hour. Stay with us.
Norris Material and Supply Flooring Center now offers in-stock vinyl plank flooring starting at 89 cents per square foot. If you're a do-it-yourself kind of person, they have all the materials needed to lay your new flooring, or you can choose their professional installation. Whatever your choice, give them a call today to get a free same-day estimate. Financing available. For the best customer service from flooring to countertops, Norris Material and Supply Flooring Center is your local flooring professional. Check them out online at flooring.norrisms.com or on the corner of Wheeler and South Y, 479-289-7111. Hablamos Espanol.
At Frank World Furniture, we want you to get this month started off right. So not only do we have no sales tax, but we are marking down every piece of furniture, bedroom furniture, mattresses, and dining sets in the store to unbelievable prices. That's right, marking all furniture down. And no sales tax. In-store, no credit check financing. Family owned and service after the sale. All American made sofas, love seats, sectionals, and recliners at Frank World Furniture. Best seats in the house.
Sarah Huckabee Sanders.
When I'm governor, we will educate kids, not indoctrinate them with the left's agenda. We will empower parents, not bureaucrats. And we will prepare students for the workforce, not government dependency. I believe every kid growing up in this state should have access to a quality education, a good job, and a better life right here in Arkansas.
Sarah Huckabee Sanders will fight back against Biden and the radical left's agenda.
Inflation is a pay cut for every Arkansan, and Biden's policies are only making it worse. As governor, I'll begin phasing out the state income tax to give you a pay raise and unleash bold reforms to make Arkansas one of the best places to start and grow a business, creating thousands of new, high-paying jobs.
Fighting back against the radical left, empowering Arkansans. Sarah Huckabee Sanders for governor. Paid for by Sarah for governor.
Ride without compromise. CF Moto's brand new U-Force 1000 XL with 2 3-person bench seats to haul more rear ends as you haul butt. Auto Finders in Adventure, Oklahoma has the perfect CF Moto for any road you choose. Get some serious mud on the tires with aluminum rims, custom paint, power steering, and a 3,000-pound winch. No wonder the CF Moto is Auto Finders' best-kept dirty little secret. Ride without compromise at Auto Finders in Adventure, Oklahoma in Roland. Visit a complete list of inventories online at autofindersok.com. Your search ends here.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, lots of sunshine. Our high temperatures today, upper 40s north, mid 50s south. Clear, cold tonight, mid to upper 20s. Wednesday, we're right back to sun, mid to upper 50s. And Thursday, sunny skies, a much warmer day with our high right around 70 degrees. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
Catch Sam Pittman live every Wednesday night at 7, only on ESPN 95.3 and hitthatline.com. From the Bushlight Studios, this is ESPN 95.3, KERX Paris, Fort Smith.
Are you sure this is legal? I don't know.
It's fun, though, isn't it?
Broadcasting on ESPN Arkansas and streaming on hitthatline.com.
We got a good one tonight. You got a team in here that doesn't respect you.
Live from the Busch Light Studios.
Don't ask me if I'm all right. Joaquin said dominate, and we not doing it.
We're going to go get one and celebrate on somebody else's field.
Hell yeah.
Matt Jones may take it to the house and the dunk.
Phil said you had very motivational words at halftime.
It's halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones. Produced by Matt Travis.
Hold the rope! Hold the rope! Hold the rope! I'm putting my heart, dog. Let's go, man!
Probably as frustrated as I've been the first half.
Do we believe?
Second half, very happy.
Is vintage Matt Jones.
Hold the rope! Hold the rope! Hold the rope! 1, 2, 3! 1, 2, 3! Turn that damn true,
Now, here's Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
And into the third hour on this Tuesday on halftime. Things are warming up just a little bit, but we're going to get a freeze overnight. And Phil Elson, Matt Jones, Clay Henry with us. Matty T, of course, holding things down in
Phil,
the studios.
Earlier,
yes,
Matt Jones was alarmed, and he says, "Is something burning in here?" And no, in fact, nothing was burning. It was Betty in the office had turned the heater on for the first time.
We turned the heat on.
Yeah. And I guess that was a few months worth of stuff that had built up.
Yeah, I was like, what just happened? What?
It's that familiar smell, man. That's
Yep,
right.
that's
and
the
I
first-
haven't turned on the heat in this house since I've moved in, so I don't. You know, it's like what's going to happen when I actually flick this thing on? Because
it feels good.
That's all the previous owners' filth
Yeah.
that's going to do burning in your
Gotta
house.
get a new air. Do you put a new air filter on? But does that do anything for it? Do you
I
do all
got
that
the new
stuff?
air
Yeah.
filter in. Yeah, I put it in just last week. So
You're
not
ready.
gonna-
You're
not
ready.
getting the-
Yeah.
I'm not going to
You're
get
ready.
a fire going.
Hold
yet.
out another
Clay,
day.
Clay, did you turn the heat on last night?
I did.
Yeah.
I did.
First
and that
night?
does remind me I have new air filters, but one of the air filters, I have to get up on a ladder and climb up on this platform in the middle of the living room. That it doesn't make sense. You have to see it to believe it. And it is, I'm just too old to be doing stuff like this.
Oh, you're an athlete.
Well, we'll see when I fall how good an athlete I am. Do I land on my feet or my head?
You give somebody $20, they'll probably do it for you.
No, I don't know. That's what son-in-laws are for.
There you
right?
go. There you go.
This opens a bit of the conversation. It's like what you and I, Matt, were talking about in the first hour briefly before we had Clay on. We were discussing this, the kicker for the Chargers, Dustin Hopkins, who kicked 3 field goals last night on a bad leg. He had strained his hamstring, and you know what it's like to try to even walk with a hamstring that's hurting like that.
That is just unbelievable. I've definitely dealt with those soft tissue issues, that the hamstring, the quad, the groin, your plant leg. You can't burst. You have no burst, and so every time you do, it's like somebody's just shooting you. It's like what in the world? So to be able to do that, Heck, gutted it out. Tough. That's warrior stuff right there.
Well, I guess anytime you view somebody that's a specialist, then they're viewed as not being an athlete, and I don't view it that way at all. But there are
Dow
people.
Loggins.
So what? Tell me where you feel Dowell is in this. Why'd you bring?
He's
his
not
name
an
up?
athlete. He was the holder.
When he was a junior in college, he still had a little athleticism in him. He could throw it a little bit.
Nice.
Oh, he was the
his
holder.
buddy.
You know what? He didn't mess any holds up. I think he has the all-time passing.
No, he had
completed-
great hands.
Yeah. He passing, was he 1 for 1 at all
think
time? He did a little flick play to him.
Wasn't it a rollout?
No, it was underhand. He just popped. It might have been. We'll have to ask him right there. But I remember he came back and said he had the record, that he was 100%.
How would you like to be 1 for 1 in your career? Like I brought up a couple weeks ago, this the former Rangers manager Jeff Bannister had just a very brief 1-game career in the major leagues. He got 1 at bat, hit a single, and never got an at bat. So he finished with a career batting average of 1,000. I'd have to look up Dowell Loggins and see exactly what his.
You probably have 100
numbers
for
were.
minimum attempts, right?
Well, I don't know. I mean, if
You
I
got to
look
have
on
at least
here- 300
300 pass attempts to qualify, maybe.
No, he was. He finished his career 1
Yep.
for 1 in passing.
I was there for that game.
11 yards, 2002.
Marvin Caston averaged 8 yards per carry as a collegiate running back. 1 carry.
Marvo's a good dude, man. I didn't talk to that dude. How's he doing?
He's doing great. I guess he's still at the foundation.
Yeah, that's the last time I
he's
saw him.
He's running the new One NIL Arkansas. He's the executive director of that, which I'm still trying to figure all that out. But I would assume that he's hook up athletes with charities. That's what he's doing. But I mean, everybody knows Marvin wasn't carrying the ball. He was blocking a linebacker or blocking a defensive end. That's what he did.
Old school player.
Yep.
We were talking earlier. I think Clay, I don't know if it was feeling us the first hour, but excuse me, about running backs being able to have to catch the ball now. That wasn't a thing. Think about 20 years ago. Running backs necessarily weren't your kickoff returners. They weren't your punt returners. Now, you do have guys like the Corey Birmingham and people that can do that, but a lot of times running backs still got away with not being able to catch the ball is what I should say.
Oh, that's right. I mean, it's the ultimate pass-catching running back to me was Peyton Hillis. And, I mean, he had the greatest hands. I mean, if it came close to him, those big old hands, they got it. And he also was a great blocker. Played fullback / H-back. And he had Darren McFadden and Felix Jones. Now, those guys ran kickoffs back, Felix and Darren. And Darren would block for Felix. And I can remember, I think this is Urban Myers showed his guys video of McFadden blocking on kickoffs and said that's the way an All-American plays. So,
and I really wish, and I understand in this day and age, like nobody returns kickoffs because every one of them goes into the end zone.
Yeah, that's right.
I would love to see, and I know he muffed one against Mississippi State and tried to bring it out of the end zone, but I just don't think he gets a chance to return kicks ever. I would love to see A.J. Green under the old rules because I think he'd be pretty good at returning kickoffs.
No, I think you're right.
I agree with you. He does catch the ball. He has natural hands, but I'd love to see him get a chance to. Even if it was, I guess we're never going to see it that much, huh? You're just taught now. It's just easier to take the ball in 25 and just no concussions.
Honestly, I don't even know why we're doing kickoffs anymore.
Right.
When you're at a point where like 90 to 95% of them just turn into touchbacks anyway, what's the point? What is the point? I guess in order to do, in order to still have the option of an onside kick at some point.
Well, it's coming to we were talking about baseball, how they're changing the rules and how it goes on, and what's the best thing for the game. What are we going to do if you're going to kick off? And I do like how they moved the extra point back in the NFL. How I think the people that have gotten the best at their position over the last 30 years are NFL kickers. You go back and look at some of those numbers they were not batting good averages. And now, I mean, those kickers, 40 yards and in, if you're not 90%, you can't play.
Yeah, and I mean, I don't know how many times we've seen a 55 to 65 yard field goal in the last handful of years. I mean, it's really the last 10 years. It's happened a lot. But I mean, I still view kickers. I mean, what is it that's an athlete? Is it about running fast? Is it about the ability to do multiple things at once? But when you deal with pressure, the way that kickers have to deal with pressure, just think how often the game comes down to a field goal in the last 5 to 10 seconds to tie or for the lead. Like, part of being an athlete also is
composure,
dealing with pressure, and that has nothing to do with how fast you run or how hard you throw or how strong you are or anything. It's your belief in yourself. And, I mean, that's got to be part of what being an athlete is about, especially you got all these people watching and everything at stake.
They have a lot of psychologists now on these teams and a lot of people that are motivators and positive influencers that way to help get your mindset the right way. That was one thing Jacksonville had. They got people that because you – in that position, the only thing is when you mess up, you hear about it. When you do what you're supposed to do, you don't hear nothing about it. Yeah.
B.E. says he stubbed his toe on Saturday and needs a wheelchair. Sorry, you can't kick a football. B.E. You couldn't kick a field goal anyway. I only know, Arns a couple years ago kicked a field goal, and I don't remember how long it was. But it ain't as easy as it looks. Just to get the ball in the air. and get a little distance on it. It's like hitting a baseball. It's just a lot easier. It looks a lot easier than it really is. 877-377-6963 here to get with us on halftime. I wanted to get into, and maybe we can do this in the next segment because we're coming up on a commercial break here. We got a caller on hold. Look at that. We got Ben in Fort Smith. Hey, Ben. Sorry for having you on hold for a while. How you doing? You're on halftime.
Hi, guys. First of all, I just want to say I really enjoy your show. Matt and Clay are really great. One thing, though, Clay, you said that, now don't get me wrong, I like watching backs, too. But you said he threw the block that sprung Rocket on that long run. And it wasn't 89 that threw the block. It was 82. It was Hudson Henry.
It was Henry. You're right. I said that.
It was
Hunter
not
Henry
me.
that sent it. You're right about that.
I started to correct him, and I let it go.
Okay.
It was Hudson Henry. You're exactly right.
It wasn't me.
Okay.
Well, Clay, you're free to jump in and correct me when I say something that's absolutely incorrect. Anytime.
I did not.
No,
want
Ben,
to do
we
that.
want you call in. Whenever Phil says something, you check him. He needs somebody. I got it.
Keep up the work, guys. Good job.
Yeah, I mean, it was Hudson Henry, and he hit him in the hole and just kind of staggered him. He didn't knock him back or anything, but the timing was absolutely perfect.
Ben, are you still there?
Good. Yeah, I'm here.
And do you have anything more? Do you have anything else you want to bring up?
No, that's all. I just want to.
You're welcome to correct me too, and I'm wrong a lot.
I just wanted to give credit to Hudson. He's a good guy. I know him. I like backs too. Don't get me wrong.
Ben, I appreciate the phone call, but I really appreciate you waiting 23 minutes just to correct me because I needed to be corrected.
Well, he didn't correct
really
you. He
did.
corrected me.
So then Ben needed to be corrected on his correction.
Yeah.
So it's all one big team.
I make
here.
enough mistakes without having to take responsibility for Phil's.
Well, you can just at least let me know that I made one. So that
I started to send you a text.
Well, the crazy thing
Now,
is I should have remembered.
If it had been Ty that done that, I would have reamed him.
I should have remembered it because, like, when you hear the call of the run and Chuck says who sprung him with the block, it was my finger that he was looking at that was pointing at number 82. So I knew it was Hudson Henry because I'm the one who saw it for Chuck to see it. I guess we call that a brain fart, right? Yeah.
Yeah, and Hudson hadn't had a lot of blocks, so we need to give him credit for that one.
Well, I remember seeing him come on the field, and I'm like, we don't see a lot of Hudson. I wonder what's going on here. And I saw him line up to KJ's right, and then the ball is snapped, and he runs right in front of KJ as the ball's handed off.
Pulling guard, yep.
And just a beautiful block, and that hole on the left side between him and Luke Jones was gigantic, and Rocket took it from there. It was a thing of beauty. All right, we're going to take a break on halftime. Get over to Twin Peaks in Rogers this weekend. They've got UFC 280. Charles Oliveira is the underdog. He'll meet number 4. Not even trying to say this guy's name. Sorry about that. But it will be in the Octagon. You can get to the lodge early, grab a bite before back-to-back title bouts, and you'll find out who leaves the lightweight champion, UFC 280, on Saturday at Twin Peaks in Rogers. It's your sports headquarters, 29-degree draft beer flowing all the time. Great food from the kitchen, made from scratch, fan favorites, and they've got sports blasting from every angle. That's the ultimate game day experience at Twin Peaks in Rogers, or visit them online at TwinPeaksRestaurant.com. You can order your delivery and bring it all home and enjoy your Twin Peaks scratch favorites at home. More TVs, bigger screens, scenic views, more to watch at Twin Peaks. 877-377-6963 for calls at halftime. We'll come right back.
You're listening to Toyota.
Video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
The Fence Man, the company you can trust when it comes to building quality fencing and gates, is looking for quality people to join the Fence Man team. If you are a fence builder or have building or welding experience, apply in person at 1213 North 32nd Street in Fort Smith. The Fence Man offers great pay and a $500 sign-on bonus. Join the top fence building team and get a $500 sign-on bonus. The Fence Man. Apply today in person at 1213 North 32nd Street in Fort Smith. The Fence Man is an equal opportunity employer.
Now that's a dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouth.
Some serious crappie.
Nice speck.
We got crappie.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite. White perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
BetOnline is the fastest and easiest way to wager on all your favorite sports, contests, and events with first-to-market odds and lines. Find reviews and news for every league, including Major League Baseball, NFL, NBA, NHL, combat sports, esports, and even golf. BetOnline continues to be the top online resource for all your sports information, from live in-game betting, props, and futures. Head to BetOnline today or use your mobile device to join today and make your first sports bet. Use our promo code BELIEVE50 to receive your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. That's BELIEVE, BLEAV 50. That's BELIEVE, BLEAV 50. Bet online, where the game starts.
Ed Sheeran used to sing in the church choir, but now bad habits reveal his desire. The old saying goes, sow a thought, reap an action. Sow an action, reap a habit. Sow a habit, reap a character. Sow a character, reap a destiny. God knows you can't overcome. That's why the faith that saves is trusting what Jesus has already done. There's nothing else you can say or use or do. Bad habits lead to doom. I'm Pastor Heath from Woodland. Think about it.
Sometimes wounds just don't heal, and when they don't, reach out to the Tulsa Wound Center. They provide chronic wound care using all the latest technologies such as hyperbaric oxygen therapy, shockwave therapy, skin substitutes, and more. When it comes to life and limb, experience matters. Make sure you are being seen and treated by an experienced and certified wound physician. Founder and medical director Dr. Lam Lee has been a prominent wound care and hyperbaric physician for over 15 years. 10,000 patients can't be wrong. Online at TulsaWoundCenter.com or call 918-561-6661.
Searching for the best UTV on the market but can't find it with any of the big name brands? That's where the Intimidator comes in. An American brand using American-made steel and built in Arkansas. Intimidator UTVs offer premium components as standard, unlike those other companies. Items such as doors, skid plates, heavy-duty frames, and comfortable seating, all at one comparable price. See why Intimidator UTVs are the best choice by visiting your local dealer, Horns Outdoor in Hot Springs, or visit hornsoutdoor.net.
Hi, I'm Mike Van Jr. with Mike Jr.'s Mobile Wash. You can count on my team to provide top quality pressure washing and exterior cleaning services for your property.
What all do you service?
Fence washing, gutter, or deep concrete cleaning for your home, commercial business, and more.
Do you have insurance?
Absolutely. We're covered with liability insurance, and we also use safe and effective wash methods, leaving your home or business looking brand new.
I guess I need to go to your website, mjmobilewash.com.
Or just give me a call at 479-763-5561. Mike Jr.'s Mobile Wash. One call cleans it all.
No House Advantage is changing the game by offering the most dynamic fantasy sports platform available today. Play in pick'em contests versus other people for a shot at winning $150,000 plus in cash. Download the app, choose a contest, select your player props, earn points for the correct picks, and climb the leaderboard for your shot to win big money every day. You can also test your skills versus the house.
Matt Jones. Got a question or comment for the guys? Give them a call or send them a text at 877-377-6963. Let's get back to the show with the voice of Arkansas Razorback baseball, Phil Elson, and Razorback football legend Matt Jones.
Quarterback Jaron Hall, play action, wanting to throw, looking downfield. He's going to heave it on a corner route. Not a good throw, and it's picked off. Hudson Clark picked it off. Clark out of bounds at the
quarterback kind of rolled out, so all the zones shifted left, and so I just kind of drove on the out, and it came right to me. So, I mean, it's fine. It's kind of relief, kind of getting one for the first time since 2020, you know. I've had my hands on a few, but just coming down with it was big.
How nice was that? Hudson Clark, good for this kid, really good for him, because, I mean, the defense gets picked on, and in some cases for good reason. I mean, they've been trouble tackling, covering, and all that. We don't want to get into all of that, but I feel like out of all the players on the Arkansas defense that has been singled out by people on social media, by fans, it's been Hudson Clark, and I mean, he's one of the only guys who started from the beginning of the season and is still out there healthy, and he moved positions to something he'd never played before. I mean, I was just elated for the game that he played and for the award to be SEC Defensive Player of the Week.
I think it's pretty funny. Maybe they just don't know football because he is a football player. He's playing out of position. He's a little light. Like I get the things, but to actually he's man, that dude can play. You want him on your team, man. And you put him anywhere in that secondary, and he's a smart player, man. He's I guess you can pick on. You got to pick on somebody, but I wouldn't pick on. I mean, he's probably one of our best D-backs we got out there.
Well, for one,
just all around football player though is that you want him back there. He can play multiple positions, man. He's a talented athlete.
I think the coaches love him.
Yeah.
I think he's coachable. I think just moving positions, from a position where I think he's just so much more comfortable at cornerback to safety, which to me feels like, I mean, that's a huge change. You'd look at it and be like, all right, defensively, you're still a defensive back. I mean, it's a whole different thing, and he's asked to tackle so much more. And then what did he do on Saturday against BYU? He tackled. He had some huge – there was one hit. I don't remember exactly when it happened, but I remember one big hit from Hudson Clark, and I'm thinking, I mean, all everybody can talk about this kid is that he can't tackle.
He's not a big
cover,
hitter, but
and he did it both. But he made a really nice hit.
Dude, that interception was the best defensive play I saw the entire game for the Arkansas Raiders. The way he cut underneath the other route and read and just went up there and caught it with his hands. I mean, just everything about that was just natural athletic ability and the awareness to follow the play.
That also was where the separation in the game really started, where the Hawks began to pull away. So that was we'll point to that fourth down. Again, and I don't know if it wasn't a decision by Kalani Sitake to go for it. According to him after the game, it was the second string center who snapped it when he wasn't supposed to snap it. You can look at that at the turning point, but without Clark's interception, who knows if Arkansas really at that point, Clay, had a chance to pull away like they did.
Yeah, I probably watched more football Saturday. I think I may have seen parts of 10 or 12 games, and I rarely saw a punt. I rarely saw an interception. I saw offenses going up and down the field. So don't just act like Arkansas is the only team struggling. I mean, Tennessee and Alabama did not stop each other. They didn't. And if you got a punt or you got a turnover, you won the game. And that's what it's about right now. It is hard to stop an offense.
And they throw a lot of the offensive and defensive pass interference calls. It seemed like there was 4 of them in the BYU game, and they were all on Arkansas. And then it goes the other way around. And they don't call them as much on the Arkansas. They're doing the same thing.
Yeah, I was stunned that in the Alabama-Tennessee game that the game-deciding play was a pass interference against Alabama. They ran that interception back. Well, there's a lot of times Alabama does grab somebody on those plays, and it doesn't get caught. And it just, officials act like they didn't see it. But it is very hard to play defensive secondary now. And we see guys that are open, but I also see when guys are covered. And they're covering more than you think they are.
Yeah.
We
only remember
no
when they're
question.
not covered. Well,
it is a hard position to play, and you make a mistake, and it's a big play every time.
Well, hopefully the secondary gets a little healthier, and I know Coach Pittman, kind of referenced that on Sunday, so we'll see what happens in a couple of weeks. But what I loved about what they did against BYU was forced turnovers. That's what I thought that's what this team was going to be about. Forced turnovers, get to the quarterback, and, of course, those two things go together. 3 turnovers forced by their defense against the Cougars, guys. You got to get back to that. It's 10 takeaways this year.
And they had their chances against Mississippi State, and it just didn't happen.
Including Hudson. There was one or two that went off his hands. So it was great. And remember, the only other defensive back or player that has an interception outside of Clark is McLaughlin, and he has 3 of Arkansas's 4. And they're going to have a chance next week against Auburn, guys, because that Tigers team, one of the worst in the country in holding on to the ball. 10 interceptions and 6 lost fumbles. Their 16 turnovers are worst in the SEC, 5th worst in the nation. And their quarterbacks, aside from the 10 interceptions that Finley and Ashford had combined to throw, they've also fumbled it 3 times. So I think you're going to have an opportunity for this defense to make some plays when we get on the plains. I think Auburn obviously is just going to try to run the ball as often as they can, but I think the Hogs might be able to strip them of it.
And that's not a good pass-blocking Auburn offensive line, and you may see some sacks. And what happens when there's sacks, Matt? What's the bad thing that happens?
There's going to be some turnovers.
Yeah.
There's going to be third and long.
The quarterback's going to get hit when he's not looking for it. I mean, it is hard to – that was what was so amazing to me when – KJ was getting spun around and he held on the ball. That's the hardest thing.
He's so tough. He is physical, tough guy, man. He's
with the
who
ball.
You want. Yes, he is. That's one of the reasons he's a heat seeker. You know, he is not afraid of contact. He is not.
Well, that's when you lose it, though.
Well, I like him, man. I don't know that I want anybody else. You know, like I like our quarterback.
That's what made the fumble at the goal line against A&M so surprising.
He got ahead of himself. He did. It was there's no reason. Everything about that was just wrong. The play call was wrong. The personnel was wrong. Why were we in a hurry to score to give the ball back to number 6? He's the best college player I've seen all year. Was A&M's running back. So we have a bad defense. So let's score real fast so we can give the ball back to. It doesn't even make sense. You know, it's like this. Everything about that was wrong.
Well, it was odd to see. First of all, he doesn't turn it over much anyway. You know, when it comes to the interceptions, the one interception KJ's thrown this year was a perfectly thrown pass right off the hands of Trey Knox. So, and he usually doesn't fumble either. I think what has happened twice this year. So that's an area where I think that at least the Arkansas defense can really step up, because we saw them create turnovers in the first couple of weeks, first 2-3 weeks. The Hogs don't turn it over themselves offensively too much. I mean, that's an area really to separate yourself from the rest of the teams that you're playing. Certainly against Auburn, I think you can.
I think Kendall Briles, that's one of the things that he does really good. So we've seen his offenses for 3 years. The common denominator, no turnovers. Franks didn't throw interceptions, did not have turnovers with that team. The last 2 years have not had turnovers. And that's how you win.
Yeah, the way the game's going, and we're talking about giving up all these points and how it's going to be, and I really do think probably most of these games we're going to have to score 40 to beat most of these games, but you can bend a little bit, but then you get a turnover. That's the way to stop it. Is they might have they're going to go up and down the field, but you're not going to get as many punts, and the ball is out in the air a lot more. So you got to find a way to get 2 or 3 turnovers a game, and if we can do that. Man, that Mississippi State game would have been a totally different game if we catch some of those passes. I mean, just a totally – so if we can do that going forward and they come in groves, man, you'll get a turnover, then all of a sudden you'll get 3 in 3 games in a row, and we'll get hot.
Well, hopefully they're whatever it takes to get the rest of the defensive secondary healthy, cryotherapy. I've seen some pretty interesting pieces of training equipment in the baseball for baseball. I know football has the same thing, so hopefully they can heal a lot quicker. It's been like two full games and 3 quarters since Miles Slusher played for Arkansas. You know, he left after the first quarter against Alabama with that calf, and it's got to be really bad to miss these last couple of weeks, and that's a pretty big
get him
piece
healthy
of the
for the rest of the
Arkansas
year.
secondary, especially with Catalon out for the year. 877-377-6963 on halftime. Brought to you by BetUS.com. You don't have an NFL game tonight, but you got Major League Baseball playoffs. One game starting in a couple of hours, and then you got the NLCS starting up, so get over there. And if you haven't signed up yet, they've got a $200% sign-up bonus for you at BetUS.com. It's the biggest in the industry. You can also put money down on any NFL game. The NBA starts the regular season, opens up tomorrow. Whatever's left of the baseball postseason. If you like NHL hockey, you can put money on that. Casino games, European slots, live dealers waiting for you at their virtual table. So it's betus.com or call 800-79-BET-US, and that is where the game begins. More halftime after a quick break.
You're listening to Toyota Tuesday. Stop by your local Toyota dealer. Toyota, let's go places.
Wheels RV wants you to seek out all the natural state has to offer this year. Explore Arkansas in a new RV from Grand Design, Forest River, KZ, Heartland, Keystone, or Alliance. All the best brands at the best prices. Enjoy peace of mind with our lifetime warranty on every new RV and a mobile service shuttle to keep you camping. So come on in and discover why Wheels was voted the best RV dealership in Northwest Arkansas. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
Hello, Discover here to explain our cash back match. Here's how it works. We give you cash back for using your Discover card on the things you were going to buy anyway. Then we match that cash back in your first year. And that's why we call it Cash Back Match. Now to recap and say cash back one more time. We match all the cash back you've earned at the end of your first year automatically. Discover. Exceptionally common sense. Learn more at discover.com/match. Limitations apply.
At Southern Tire Mart, we look out for you and your vehicle. Come visit us for America's most trusted brands like Michelin Tires and top-of-the-line service. You can depend on Southern Tire Mart and Michelin Tires to keep you rolling. Come see us at Southern Tire Mart, just off I-540 exit 14 in Fort Smith, for Michelin tires that fit your needs and service that cares for you like family.
Show your hometown pride with a School Spirit debit card from First Star Bank. Each time you make a purchase with your School Spirit debit card, First Star will make a donation to your school district. You make a purchase, they make a donation. Everyone wins. Support your school with First Star Bank's School Spirit debit card. First Star Bank has donated over $100,000 to local schools through the School Spirit program. Debit cards may be ordered online at firststar.bank.
Riley Farm Dental, at the entrance to Riley Farms, provides every type of dental care and procedures for you and your family. From general dentistry, braces, implants, and cosmetics, Dr. Bo Sparkman and Dr. Brogan give all of their patients better lives with a better smile, more confidence, and a comfortable experience every time. Riley Farm Dental, 5901 Riley Park Drive, Suite A, at the entrance to Riley Farms. Call 226-3500 for an appointment or visit RileyFarmDental.com.
Peace of mind in buying a quality and well-maintained vehicle is top priority at Carco Auto Sales. Carco Auto Sales has been serving the River Valley and eastern Oklahoma for over 40 years and offers a variety of late model, low-mileage vehicles at unbeatable values. Come see the team at 2810 Midland Boulevard today or give them a call at 783-1722. You can check them out online at buyfromcarco.com. Carco Auto Sales. When you're ready.
Needing your roof repaired? Ramos Roofing is a local company that has over 25 years of experience, specializing in your residential or commercial roofing needs in the Oklahoma area. Ramos Roofing, a company you can trust, offering discounts to senior citizens, law enforcement, or healthcare workers, and assists in your insurance claims. Ramos Roofing, standing behind their work so you can stand under it. Call 479-420-9903. That's 420-9903. Ramos Roofing, working with you to build a better home.
Hey Arkansas fans, this is JD with JD's River Valley Restoration and Detail. We're hogs through and through and we like getting dirty, but our cars need to look clean and fresh, and that's where we come in. Come and check out our brand new expanded shop at 5606 Towson Avenue, or you can follow us on Facebook at JD's River Valley Restoration for new updates including food trucks on the lot, car shows, detail courses, and much, much more. Give us a call at 479-629-7486. We're open Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. JD's River Valley Restoration, where we're making new relationships one vehicle at a time.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
In the cool
and say, alright, love is kind of crazy with a spooky little girl like you.
Find Halftime on 99.5 in Northwest Arkansas, 95.3 in Fort Smith and the River Valley, 96.3 in Hot Springs and Central Arkansas, 104.3 in Harrison and Mountain Home, and everywhere on hitthatline.com. Now back to the hosts. Here's Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
Now, I didn't get my eyes on it because, well, it was the same time as the Razorback game, so I'm sure a lot of our listeners might have had either two TVs or you just flipped it back and forth because the the Alabama-Tennessee game, according to CBS, was the most watched college football game since Alabama-LSU in 2019, which was quite the showdown between those two teams.
Now these regular season games?
That were all regular season, okay. That's right. This is regular season stuff. 11.6 million viewers is what the average was, and peaked with nearly 17 million. So that's, again, I didn't get a chance to watch it. Too bad.
We flipped to it. We saw, I guess when we flipped to it, Bama was kind of going down and about to kick the field goal was kind of when we flipped over to it. And I think like everybody else did. I think just about everybody probably flipped over to it, and you were like, okay, here we go, you know.
There's no other game now, I think. Tennessee, Georgia will end up becoming maybe the second most watched game.
What about Ohio State, Michigan? What do you think?
Ohio State, Michigan, perhaps.
Michigan
and
still
there'll be a lot at stake when it comes down to it, as long as Michigan holds up their end of the bargain.
Yeah, that could be. That a bucket list game and going places and that seeing snow on the ground or going to see Ohio State, Michigan, that would just be something that I'd love to do, man. That seems like that would be a good time, good atmosphere.
I spent a couple years at Indiana as a student, so I did some Big Ten football as a fan. But, I mean, nobody gets all excited about, hey, we're going to go to Memorial Stadium to watch the Hoosiers. Nobody gets fired up about that because you could fit like 3 Memorial Stadiums inside the Horseshoe. And
or
you
the
could
big
probably
house,
fit 3 of them in the big house, too. It'd be a lot different. There's no doubt. Like, that would be a bucket list thing, is going to see Ohio State, Michigan there. I'd say, what do you think about what they got this weekend, Florida, Georgia, in Jacksonville?
That would have been, so when I was in Jacksonville, Tebow was in Florida with the Gators, and Georgia was good, which they're all that good. We always had a road game whenever they played, so we were out of the way. That would be fun. The Iron Bowl would be cool. Out west, you think of Stanford, USC. You know, I just don't.
Cal used to be. I mean, it still is a big rivalry, but I mean, it's not like that exciting. USC, UCLA. Like I don't know if that game is being played at the Rose Bowl where UCLA plays. You've seen some of the attendance numbers from UCLA.
Yes.
They're unbeaten, man, and they get maybe 30,000 people into a stadium where you could get
you can have your own section, Matt.
They could win the Big Ten in a couple years.
It just sounds weird to say that. It sounds really weird to say that.
How's the atmosphere? I mean, that's the atmosphere has to be. I mean, you don't play for the atmosphere, but man, it helps. You know, having that fan base, having that 12th man, having the atmosphere going, man, that's got to be. It's got to not help recruiting.
Hey, and I know what it's like to be working a game that you're excited about, and then you look out and realize there's 1,000 people there, 1,500 people there. That was what was like. That's what it was like working in minor league baseball, which I love, and always will. But you know, I mean, a big Razorback baseball game, we're going to have 8,000, 8,500, if not 12,000 people there. You want the people who you're doing the game for or playing for to feel the same way about the game that you do. And I just don't know, as far as UCLA is concerned, if that's even possible right now. It's crazy. If you were undefeated, if Arkansas was undefeated now and had a home game this weekend, they'd have to sell standing room outside the gates for crying out loud.
You couldn't get tickets; they would all be gone. There'd be no way. But that's the atmosphere here, and that's why. I mean, that's a lot of that. So you come here to play. You come in here to play in those big time games and those big time environments, man. That's you don't go there to play. I mean, you don't go there to play in front of 20,000 people.
Well, I guess it's official now that we just have to say Tennessee is back. You know, and you brought up the idea of, look at Hendon Hooker. Hendon Hooker, this is his 6th year as a college football player, and he took a huge step forward.
24-year-old, 24.
took a giant step forward last year, even though he wasn't the starting quarterback for the first couple of weeks, and now takes even a bigger step forward. And who knows what that means for him at the next level, but he's playing like somebody that's going to get drafted in the first couple of days. So for KJ Jefferson, who I think when we started the season, I assumed that he would have the kind of year where he would end up going into the draft. But the more that you and I talk about it, Matt, and we watch KJ play, there is still room for improvement, and I guess so much of it has to do with accuracy specifically. How exactly can you improve that?
Footwork.
From 1 year, is it all footwork?
90% of that right there, and I would assume kind of pitching might be the same way, but it's your lower body has so much to do with your accuracy. That was one thing Coach Lee was really good on. I was an overstrider a little bit, and so you shorten that stride. I mean, you look at all these quarterbacks that come through. I didn't have as much arm talent as these. I had to work at it. I was an athlete, and so it was just something that you had to do. And KJ is arm talent-wise is as good as anybody, but just another year to go over the little things, get comfortable, and go about it, man. I really do think he would do nothing but improve his draft status by doing that.
I mean, Clay, I've said the last couple of years, to me, KJ looks like an NFL quarterback. I mean, he's got the body type. I think he's got the intangibles. He's got the arm strength. So
likable. The people like – that's one thing, the players, your teammates
Leadership.
like you. Yes, sir.
Yeah, well, when you watch a quarterback and I remember talking to Lou Holtz, he wanted stripes on the helmets. And he wanted a stripe on a helmet because he wanted to be able to watch video to see how the head turns. And the stripe tells you that, right, Matt? And when I see KJ, how quick does he go from 1 to 2 to 3? And sometimes I don't think last year he went past 1 because it was tray line.
Right.
So now that's why he's not as accurate, because he's getting to 3 late.
Footwork,
and
right?
Doesn't
yes,
change his footwork.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And then you're moving on. You're going on the run. Yes, sir. You're exactly just another year of practicing that.
The head turned, but the feet didn't turn. And so then that when you see that pass to the outside was like he didn't hit him in the numbers, because then he would have been able to turn and run with it. And that's the part that he'll continue to get better at.
He's only going to get better.
Coaches just are always thinking ahead of people. I would have not imagined that a coach wants a stripe on a helmet specifically for that reason, so he knows which way his head is turning. That's brilliant. It really is. That's brilliant stuff.
Here's the thing, that he is going to get better throwing, because as he grows, he's going to not have to spend as much time on the RPO game, the reads and things. There's a lot of running game stuff that he's doing. It's not just throwing. If you get good at what you emphasize. And I think with Matt, I wanted to talk to you about the midline option with David Lee. How much time did you spend on that?
That's, we had a conversation about that the other day, and just like, what could you do with Malik Hornsby? Can you just put him in there and run that option? And it's like, you can't. You got to be taught that at a young age. And we would run that. You would have
it's development.
20 minutes, and Mark Pierce was the guy, and Peyton Hillis were both two guys that could do that. And you got to have guys that have done it, and you got to put the time in to practice it, because that mesh point, I got in trouble. We fumbled like 5 times one time. I'm doing laps. Coaches just dogpiling on me, because that mesh point, you can't lose that ball. So when you run it, you got to make sure that you're not. It's so easy to turn that ball over if you don't practice it.
So that's what KJ does well, and that's what he was good at. He learned it because they worked on it, and that's what they're doing with Hornsby. If you're going to run the offense, you've got to be able to run those plays. So how much time do you get to spend on the passing game? Well, it splits up your practice. You don't get to do – it's not like an NFL team is going to throw for an hour and a half, right?
Yeah, I mean, they're not going to do that. Yeah.
I'm talking, Kendall's not. You don't have that time in practice if you're going to run option plays. The That's why wishbone teams didn't throw it very good.
And you got to coach to the talent you have. I think you see Musselman doing that on the basket, talking about taking charges last year to this year. They're going to be a perimeter blocking team, and just you got to coach to the talent you have, and we don't really have those type of players right here.
Well, I do know, and you brought up the idea of a pitcher, getting more accurate, and fielders can get more accurate when it comes to throwing the ball. Footwork certainly is a part of that, but also some of it is just how difficult it is to be accurate, anyway, when you throw in 96 miles an hour.
You got hit 3 plays earlier. Something could be going on, yeah.
There's other things that are partially about this. And I wonder, too, it's not like he wasn't working on being an accurate passer last year, but when so much of it is, I'm going to heave it up, and I know Traylon's going to go get the ball. The accuracy might not have been quite as important because you had a receiver who could just outfight a cornerback or two for the football. All right, we better step aside here because we're coming up against it, and I want to leave a little bit of time for us to close up shop in a moment. I want to remind you that when the Razorbacks are on television, get over to Joe's Grill and Cantina, as they're the home of half-price apps and half-price taps during any televised event that involves the Razorbacks. There's TVs all around the restaurant, and you'll always have a front row seat to watch Arkansas athletics at Joe's Grill and Cantina. And you know what else? Today's Tuesday, so it's Taco Tuesday at Joe's Grill and Cantina. You want to get over there for $1 crispy tacos all day long, and they've got other tacos on special too. Pork carnita tacos are $2.95. $3.95 for the brisket or pork belly tacos, and it's only $2.25 for an ultra draft all day long. Joe's Grill and Cantina, 3400 South 74th in Fort Smith. They're right across from Harps, open Tuesday through Saturday.
Video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
The Fence Man, the company you can trust when it comes to building quality fencing and gates, is looking for quality people to join the Fence Man team. If you are a fence builder or have building or welding experience, apply in person at 1213 North 32nd Street in Fort Smith. The Fence Man offers great pay and a $500 sign-on bonus. Join the top fence building team and get a $500 sign-on bonus. The Fence Man. Apply today in person at 1213 North 32nd Street in Fort Smith. The Fence Man is an equal opportunity employer.
Now that's a dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse.
Some serious crappie.
Nice speck.
We got crappies.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite white perch, slab, sacalé, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
BetOnline is the fastest and easiest way to wager on all your favorite sports, contests, and events with first-to-market odds and lines. Find reviews and news for every league, including Major League Baseball, NFL, NBA, NHL, combat sports, esports, and even golf. BetOnline continues to be the top online resource for all your sports information, from live in-game betting, props, and futures. Head to BetOnline today or use your mobile device to join today and make your first sports bet. Use our promo code BELIEVE50 to receive your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. That's BELIEVE, BLEAV 50. That's BELIEVE, BLEAV 50. Bet online, where the game starts.
Ed Sheeran used to sing in the church choir, but now bad habits reveal his desire. The old saying goes, sow a thought, reap an action. Sow an action, reap a habit. Sow a habit, reap a character. Sow a character, reap a destiny. God knows you can't overcome. That's why the faith that saves is trusting what Jesus has already done. There's nothing else you can say or use or do. Bad habits lead to doom. I'm Pastor Heath from Woodland. Think about it.
Sometimes wounds just don't heal, and when they don't, reach out to the Tulsa Wound Center. They provide chronic wound care using all the latest technologies such as hyperbaric oxygen therapy, shockwave therapy, skin substitutes, and more. When it comes to life and limb, experience matters. Make sure you are being seen and treated by an experienced and certified wound physician. Founder and medical director Dr. Lam Lee has been a prominent wound care and hyperbaric physician for over 15 years. 10,000 patients can't be wrong. Online at TulsaWoundCenter.com or call 918-561-6661.
Searching for the best UTV on the market but can't find it with any of the big name brands? That's where the Intimidator comes in. An American brand using American-made steel and built in Arkansas. Intimidator UTVs offer premium components as standard, unlike those other companies. Items such as doors, skid plates, heavy-duty frames, and comfortable seating, all at one comparable price. See why Intimidator UTVs are the best choice by visiting your local dealer, Horns Outdoor in Hot Springs, or visit hornsoutdoor.net.
Hi, I'm Mike Van Jr. with Mike Jr.'s Mobile Wash. You can count on my team to provide top quality pressure washing and exterior cleaning services for your property.
What all do you service?
Fence washing, gutter, or deep concrete cleaning for your home, commercial business, and more.
Do you have insurance?
Absolutely. We're covered with liability insurance, and we also use safe and effective wash methods, leaving your home or business looking brand new.
I guess I need to go to your website, mjmobilewash.com.
Or just give me a call at 479-763-5561.
Mike Jr.'s Mobile Wash.
One call cleans it all.
No House Advantage is changing the game by offering the most dynamic fantasy sports platform available today. Playing pick'em contests versus other people for a shot at winning 100.
No one told me about her, the way she lied. But no one told me about her, how many people cried. But it's too late to say you're sorry. How would I know? Why should I care? Please don't bother trying to find her. She ain't there.
Well, too bad the way she looked, the way she acted, the color of her hair. Her voice is soft and cool, her eyes are clear and bright,
but she ain't there.
You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones. Want to jump in the conversation? Call or text into Halftime at 877-377-6963. Now, here's Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
And Clay Henry as we wrap up halftime on this Tuesday. And remind you that the Eastside Liquor Halftime Podcast will be coming out within the hour. And Ruskin and Zach will take you from 2 until 7. I don't know what we got going on after that, that's for sure. But what we got going on right now is our final reset of the show.
Hey, what you watching?
Why dost thou torment me with a TV, but not a TV guide to enjoy it with?
What do you plan on watching tonight?
How do you just walk into a house and take a TV guide? How does she expect you to watch TV? Am I just supposed to turn it on and wander aimlessly around the dial?
All right, light day of sports. You do have a couple of really good baseball games. The American League Division Series wraps up. First pitch of that game is 3:07 Central Time on TBS. Guardians and Yankees rained out yesterday, so that's why they're doing it today, the same day that the NLCS begins. Pitching for Cleveland today is Aaron Savali. Will be his first game of the series. And Nestor Cortes will get the ball on short rest for New York. They initially had Jameson Taillon pitching, scheduled to go last night, but instead he'll work out of the bullpen. Bet Saracen right now has Cleveland plus 155 on the money line. That's up $5 from when the show started. That's the direction I would go if I was putting money on this. I really like Cleveland's bullpen. You know how I think about the Yankees being forced to play a game that's not at night in their stadium. So I'd go Cleveland with that one. But then again, I went like 0 for 6 on Saturday as far as that was concerned. So take that with an entire shaker full of salt. Phillies and Padres are a 7 o'clock first pitch on FS1. And Zach Wheeler for Philadelphia. Yu Darvish for the Padres. Phils won 87 games in the regular season. 89. I'm going to have to go do some research when the show is over to see the last time that there was a championship series in either league, if it ever happened, where neither team won 90 games. NBA preseason wraps up tonight. TNT's got the Sixers and the Celtics, 6:30, and then 9 o'clock it's the Lakers and the Warriors, and ESPN Arkansas is carrying that game at 8:30.
This regular season.
Is that?
You said preseason. Am I wrong now?
Are these the first games of the regular season
make
or
sure.
tonight?
I thought it started today. Did it not start
Celtics
today?
and Warriors would make sense to have them going.
Philly,
I guess
you got
is.
Philly, and I think the last game of preseason was the 14th. So that way Ben doesn't have to call in tomorrow.
So
or
that's
Ben
why
still call in
TNT
though.
is showing it.
There you go.
Phil, you're talking to somebody that keeps up with the NBA. That's obvious.
Oh no, you
That's
said
good.
it. Yeah, that's whatever. Yeah.
That's a good thing, and he keeps up with soccer too.
No,
so
he
you can
is.
help me out with that
But,
at
I
some
mean,
point.
I
He's
see
in the
now.
minority.
I misunderstood. I see you, Phil.
I haven't watched much of the NBA in a while. It has been a long time.
Not till the playoffs get here. Kind of like I do my baseball. I like to watch the playoffs. Baseball, yeah. The NBA, man, it's a long day. It's a long year. Yeah.
See, that's what this will do. This combination of you and me, we will cover up each other's shortcomings in a very positive manner.
I mean, LeBron's doing his thing. NBA is going to be fun this year. It's just I don't really get involved till after football's over. You know, it's kind of like I don't go fishing till after turkey season's over. You know, you kind of have your stuff set in order. Yeah.
One after the other, never at the same time. It's like some people don't like their food touching the food on the same plate. So it's sort of the same thing.
I put my milk in before my cereal. Do y'all do the cereal first or the milk in first?
I've never heard of that.
Oh.
Now, do you drink the cereal milk when you're done
every
with the
time?
cereal?
That's the best milk there is.
I know some people that are frightened of that actually can't stomach it, but that's why they have like ice cream flavors named after cereal milk. All right, so we do have NBA regular season starting tonight, 8:30 on ESPN Arkansas with the Lakers and the Warriors, and we'll see how Moses Moody does starting his second year with Golden State. That's halftime for a Tuesday. Back with you tomorrow, 11 in the morning until 2 in the afternoon. Guys, have a great rest of your day.
See you guys.
For Matt Travis,
Thank you.
for Matt Jones, and for Clay Henry, I'm Phil. You have a great rest of your day as well. Now get up, get out, and get better.